love of liberty, in the fires of hope and prayer, with boundless faith in our destiny, we solemnly declare. Side by side we stand, islands of the blue Caribbean Sea, this our native land. We pledge our lives to thee. Here every creed and race find an equal place, and may God bless our nation. Here every creed and race find an equal place, and may God bless our nation.
Heavenly Father, we come before you at the start of this new day, giving thanks for life, for health, and the opportunity to serve through this station. We ask for your divine presence to guide us in all we do. Bless this broadcast, that it may be a source of inspiration, joy, and unity to all who tune in. Whether near or far, may our words uplift, our music heal, and our message bring light to those who need it most. We pray for our listeners wherever they may be. Grant them strength for the day ahead, peace in their hearts, and success in all they put their hands to. Cover those traveling with your protection, and those at home with your comfort and provision. Lord, may everything we do bring honor to you and be a blessing to others. Guide our steps, bless our efforts, and let this station be a vessel of positivity and hope. In your name we pray. Amen.
Your voice, your soundtrack, your station. New Era TT Radio, NETT Radio.
And 2 o'clock in the morning, my phone you're calling. When things get boring, it's back and all you want. I thought I was the one, I thought that this was love. But when I hear this scene, you know she's a bride to be. Now I am the last train, heading down to San Fernando. Coming 54, wine up on you, unlock your door, open your window. Girl, I am the last train, heading down to San Fernando. Coming 54, wine up on you, unlock your door, open your window. She want me go down there, ride it, ride it. So let me go down there, ride it, ride it. What she telling me? What she said? You coming San Fernando? She want me go down there, ride it, ride it. So let me go down there, ride it, ride it. What she telling me? What she said? You coming San Fernando? 6 o'clock in the morning, the neighbor dog barking. I hear people talking. She tell me pass through the back. Don't do me that. You have a money man day. Look how your bills them paid, and you still playing games. Nobody wins at the end of the day. Girl, I know I'm not the one. I know that this ain't love, but when I check the scene, it's time for me to leave. Now I am the last train, heading down to San Fernando. Coming 54, wine up on you, unlock your door, open your window. Girl, I am the last train, heading down to San Fernando. Coming 54, wine up on you, unlock your door, open your window. She want me go down there, ride it, ride it. So let me go down there, ride it, ride it. Tell what she telling me.
a final boarding call for the train to San Fernando, departing from platform 3. Passengers with tickets for this service, please proceed to board now.
Even on she wedding day, look, she still calling me. She begging me to stay. She don't know when to stop. The man give she everything, the house and the car and the ring, but you still playing games. Nobody wins at the end of the day. Girl, I know I'm not the one. I know that this ain't love, but when I check the scene, it's time for me to leave. Now I on the last train, heading down to San Fernando. Coming to Tifa, wine up on you. Unlock your door, open your window. Girl, I on the last train, heading down to San Fernando. Coming to Tifa, wine up on you. Unlock your door, open your window. She want me go down there, ride it. So let me go down there, ride it. Yeah, what she telling me? What she said when you come in San Fernando. She want me go down there, ride it. So let me go down there, ride it. Yeah, what she telling me? What she said when you come in San Fernando. She want me go down there, ride it. So let me go down there, ride it. Yeah, what she telling me? What she said when you come in San Fernando. She want me go down there.
Rise up. It's the NETT Radio Breakfast Show. Bringing you the energy, music, and vibes to start your day right.
Let me go down there, right there. All the way down to the ground. Yeah. San Fernando, good morning. This is the last train. Hey everybody, how are you doing this fine Tuesday morning? Beautiful day it is on the outside. I'm hoping that all is well with you on the inside. Hope you're feeling the energy. Hope you're feeling all God's goodness that is working in you and around you. Surround yourself in it. Just wrap yourself in it this morning and just love yourself. Trinidad and Tobago, good morning. Neighbors in the Caribbean, good morning. All our friends and family who are streaming all around the globe, thank you so much for making us your choice. When I say us, you want to know what I'm talking about? Wow, it is NETT Radio. The heartbeat of the Caribbean, we take you above and beyond. Excellence. Oh, it is such a gorgeous, God bless day. Let me say much thanks to Heavenly Father for bringing us together for another day. All that we do, dear God, let it be a blessing unto you. Sir Charles, that is me. Happy am I to be in the space as always, yeah. Let me take the opportunity to welcome everybody to The Breakfast Show.
Get up, it's the time to start the day. The Breakfast Show is here, we bring in the soca way. Yeah. Wake up, it's a brand new dawn. The Breakfast Show got the vibes turned on. From Maracas Bay to the Savannah line, let's start the day in Caribbean prime. Good vibes rolling through the air. The Breakfast Show, energy everywhere. We talk, we laugh, we make you think. Grab your doubles or your morning drink.
Okay, so good morning to you, everybody. 10 minutes past the hour of 6 o'clock. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for showing up and being with us on the Breakfast Show. Tuesday edition, it is the 25th day of August. As the time continues to move along, it's not waiting on you or any one of us. It's doing its thing. All right, so welcome you to the Breakfast Show. I want to say good morning to my co-host, Richard, who will join us in a little bit, and of course Wendell, who is here. So good morning, like you're on the move, boy.
No, actually, I'm having internet issues this morning again. For some reason or the other, are you hearing me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
For some reason or the other, when this flow box goes off, oh, sorry, it does not come back on for another 24 hours. So Some,
Oh.
like when I lose power, like electricity dip or whatever, which is happening very regularly now, and the flow box goes off the modem, it doesn't come back on until a day later.
Nah, tell Flo come and change that. I ain't good.
Yeah, it's happening regularly now, and I had a backup internet here that I don't have anymore, and now so I have to go to my phone and use data.
Yeah.
You know. So I mean, if we didn't have a guest today, you probably wouldn't see me until this I get this sorted out because it's annoying every time it happens. You know.
Yeah, that's a real annoying thing, man. Because and I can understand why he's doing that because normally if the internet goes down by me here with Flow, once electricity is stored. So right now, if you need to reset your box, if you take it, unplug it back in, you in trouble.
I'll try all that.
No, I mean like normally when when it's up and running, if for some reason you have to restart your system, would you
Yeah.
then have to wait a whole day before it get back in? Nah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why it does that. It just and then it just pops back up just like that. Like if a day later it
Yeah,
comes back
yeah.
on.
Now you have to talk with Flo and tell them send a representative to either come and change that box you have there, or come and diagnose that problem because
But
the internet can't take so long to reboot.
so Charles, when last you tried to call Flo,
I
it is
know.
it is near impossible to get through to anybody to speak to you. Know, it's all kind of hoops and turns.
Yeah,
Press
yeah,
this, press that, wait on this, wait on that. Have this ready, and you don't ever get to speak to someone.
yeah,
I can't tell the last time I speak to somebody in Flow about a problem. I just give up.
yeah. And that is not just Flo. You know, most companies now have that kind of press one, go here, press two, wait, hold, and then you could text a message to WhatsApp and all different kinds of things.
Yeah. Send your callback number, and they don't ever call you back.
Yeah.
Caribbean Airlines is the same thing. As a matter of fact, you're right. Almost all the providers now with anything is a whole lot of hoops. Oh God, FCB is the worst.
Yeah, they say like they just don't want to talk to people, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, we should do a poll on that one of these days because it's ridiculous on all these companies that you cannot speak to anybody.
you know, you can't get a sales rep, person over the counter to speak to anymore, and and that is it. Because even with TSCT, sometimes you know. I remember there was a time you could go into certain physical offices to
Yeah.
complain. It have no physical office in some of them places anymore.
But I don't even know if Flo has a physical office still. I don't. I'm not even sure. But it's ridiculous now that what you have to go through sometimes with these. Flo is terrible. It's terrible. It's terrible. 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 I don't know what to say again about Flo. I've fed up complain, and I've fed up read complaints from other people. You
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
So I guess I just had to go with the flow. Maybe that's what I mean by the word flow. Just go with the flow.
Yeah, yeah. Now, even though it might be difficult, you still have to try and get onto them one way or the other and tell them that system is working.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I think they still have one or two areas where you can walk in, you know. I think the one that
Flow?
I made by Takarigo, I think they're still there, if I'm mistaken. All you flow people, all you let us know where they have a physical office, where you know where you could go in and you have a problem, you could talk to them directly.
Yeah.
It's hard to find some of these places to talk to people. Oh my word. Yeah.
I give up. Anyway, good morning, Sir Charles. Good morning, Richard. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. And good morning, listeners and viewers all over the globe. If you're celebrating a birthday today, happy birthday. I don't know how I'm gonna have to switch off my camera at one point in time to go to the chat,
Okay.
so that at least I can read what's happening. You know?
No
But good
problem.
morning, people. It's Tuesday morning in Trinidad and Tobago. It's Tuesday afternoon in Addis Ababa, and it's Tuesday evening in Yokohama, Japan. Right? In other parts of the globe, it's Tuesday.
But
Unless you're in
I hope
Turkey,
you
then
people in Addis Ababa that the internet is back up and running. They having some internet problems, too. But I understand they have a whole lot of things happening, construction and stuff. I'm seeing plenty things coming out of there.
yeah. Well, in Ethiopia, if I'm not mistaken, 50% of the population does not have access to electricity. I don't know if that's still is still so, but at one point in time, that was so. It's
Yes. Wow.
some yeah, they didn't have access to electricity. But yeah, a lot of Africa is building at a remarkable rate. You know what I mean? I love
Yeah.
Africa. I love Africa. I love Africa.
Yeah. It have some areas that totally underdeveloped still, but but a lot
Hmm.
of it is moving at a pace, so
Hmm.
that is good.
Yeah.
That's good.
All right.
All right,
What is happening in the news? PNM held a press conference yesterday.
well, wait, hold on, don't jump there. Let me let's do good news.
All
Uh,
right.
yeah, because when we get there and then Richard come in here,
Mm-hmm.
hey, so let me do good news and come back.
All right.
You know, Dorothy Jean Tillman II completed her associate's degree at age 10, a bachelor's degree at age 12. She picked up her double master's at 14, and last weekend she walked across the stage at Arizona State to receive her PhD, which she earned at 17 years old. What the?
I was setting things on fire with a magnifying glass. And she joins us in studio to talk about that in her camp, helping students here and in South Africa. Well, congratulations to you.
And you go by DJ?
Yes.
Well, and you are related to former Alderwoman Dorothy Tillman.
Yes,
That's your
my
grandma?
grandmother, yes.
Oh, my gosh. So tell us, did your parents know pretty early on that you were an exceptional student, and what did they tell you about that?
I think my grandma, my granny, and my mom all kind of saw it in me, like at different points in times in different ways. And I kind of just thought like a lot of what we were doing was normal until it got like a different level of attention. And so I didn't notice it, but I think people around me did.
Yeah, it has some people that are just naturally bright.
Mm-hmm. 17, eh?
Yeah, I'm seeing that we have some young rising stars on the horizon too. You know, some children who are doing a remarkable thing here at home. You know, where their exams and doing it early and stuff. The thing about it is that I don't know what we do with children when we see them like that in Trinidad and Tobago. You know, because I know like in some parts of the U.S. and Canada, that students like that they put them into all kind of special programs early o'clock.
But most times you have a student like that here, they end up abroad, eh?
Yeah,
Let's face it. They end up abroad at some college or university or whatever. Most times.
yeah, but I don't know, sometimes we see it, we hear about them, and but what do we have here to capitalize on that genius that we are seeing here? And but just like when we were talking the other day about inventions and things like that, there are some places, China, them they go out looking for the best minds,
Yeah.
and and they walk them through life to make sure that they get certain things, and they're able to produce for their nation. I don't know what we have.
Hmm.
you know.
Well, as I said, I think most people like that would probably end up um, going abroad to further their chances of their education and whatnot. Um, because whilst we have a high standard of education here in Trinidad and Tobago, I think most people would probably send that person, that child abroad. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, you know,
Yeah.
because the opportunities here are not as vast as it is out there. You
and
know
and
what I
that
mean?
yeah, and that's what I was getting at, the opportunity.
Hmm.
So how do we on what are we doing to create those opportunities. We can't just be exporting our talent to the rest of the world, because sometimes when a lot of these persons leave, just like if we're talking about the nurses and stuff, and opportunity faces them in other places, they don't come back.
Mhm.
you know.
Yep. Yep.
So,
That's what happens.
so then we don't really benefit by that brilliance that we are producing or is produced in our space, and I think we have to find ways to start to benefit from that. Just like how we have, I do, and I don't know how well it is functioning with our elite athletes program.
Oh,
Is
don't
it
start me on that now.
much about it. But these things have to go past just being a name, a brand. It sounds good, but
Mhm.
it's really doing nothing. Yeah, I think we had to get past that. But has to drive it. Whether it be at a government level, and I'm sure it has to be at a government level to drive it. And yeah, when we look at all of those countries and what they are doing now, and the infrastructure, and their, and what they are doing with science and technology and everything, it is because leadership had a vision. Leadership saw the potential and say, well, you know what, we can produce this in mass, so let's invest in it to produce it in mass, that it will benefit us down the road. But I don't know what we are doing.
When last we had somebody in that office of Minister of Sport, and however else is acting, because they add other things to it sometimes, youth affairs, um, um, community, whatever there's active sometimes to sport. But sport alone has done so much for this country, Trinidad and Tobago. And we have this elite athlete program that you hear very little about. The athletes, I guess they get their money whenever they are, those who qualify. I don't know. You know what I mean? Because if they weren't getting it, I guess we would have been here. But how many times sporting organizations had to struggle for this and struggle for that, and nobody the other day, a team went somewhere and nobody was there to meet them, and they came back in wherever. I mean, they complained about it. It's we always have people in Ministry of Sport. It's almost like if yeah, just put up with it,
Yeah.
because Minister Philip Watts, I don't know what's his background, you know what I mean? But he's inaccessible. He is inaudible. I mean, I don't know what he's doing and look at how many things have happened in sport. Sport is always a success story for Trinidad and Tobago in all manner of disciplines. We always have successful people in sport, and yet still we have people in office. I think the last minister admitted she never kick a ball or play netball or anything like that. And it's almost like if we put people there as a second guess in the Ministry of Sport.
It's more symbolism than anything else.
Yes, it's a ministry that had to have a minister, and we just find somebody and put them there. We have nobody there who really, really, really interested in pushing it forward. You would have heard the heads of all these organizations, including NPAs and so on, tell you about their struggles to get this and get that and get the other. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah. Well, I see Richard is joining us. So Richard might be able to help us if he. Good morning, Richard. How are you doing?
Good morning, guys, and good morning, listeners and viewers, wherever you are on planet Earth. Good morning to everybody.
Yeah. Richard, did you notice the good news? Whether we played you?
No, I didn't. I missed it. I
Right.
missed it.
It was
I forget you were talking about it. What you were talking about.
yeah, young Miss Dorothy Tillman, out there in the US, did her master's, PhD, and at 70 or something like that. And I'm wondering, in Trinidad and Tobago, because we have, from time to time, you see our students performing well at very young ages. doing exams and passing them and that sort of thing. Do you have any idea what we do with those bright minds that pop up?
You mean where they go?
Yeah. Do we have anything here that captures those individuals to say that we are going to walk through this person's life or whatever it is to make sure that we can benefit Trinidad and Tobago from this brilliance that we have?
I don't think it's any way that you're thinking. I mean, because brilliant students often will be scholarship winners, and scholarship winners, depending if you get an open scholarship, will mean that you could study wherever. I don't know if that has changed, but it used to be where you could study whatever, wherever. It was not necessarily aligned with Trinidad and Tobago. I know that was an issue. But you're required to work for the Trinidad and Tobago for a certain amount of years as part of that scholarship requirement. So it's a way of utilizing the brain power, even though some people move on to greener pastures and they just pay back the money. Some people do that and say, well, I'll just pay you back and pay back the state. Some people in previous years never even paid back the state. They just went on to do whatever they wanted to do. So I mean, but we are not very sophisticated in terms of necessarily aligning the society in terms of the vision of where you want the society to go, and concentratedly work in that direction. So to simply answer your question, no, I don't think we follow people specifically. I think it's up to people whether they want to fulfill those scholarship requirements. Even though you may have brilliant students who did not get a scholarship, they are not necessarily bound to Trinidad and Tobago. And developed countries, I mean, the US is going through a very strange period under the Trump administration where they seem to be antagonistic and almost anti-intellectual. And part of the strength of the United States has been its ability to attract the best of the planet. But now I think the best of the planet is looking at alternative areas to go. Probably Europe is getting a benefit from it, rather than, I mean, maybe Europe and other places like Australia probably getting the benefit of that brain magnet, and the US, because of the amount of visa restrictions and stuff that they have put up, they have clearly sent a message that they are anti-immigrant and, by extension, anti-intellectual. So a lot of that brain power will find another place to go. Some may stay here.
Yeah.
You know, but nobody follows it. We don't capture data in that kind of way, as far as I'm aware. We don't follow anybody's journey. You're pretty much on your own, and you could decide however you want to contribute. There are many people that don't want to leave Trinidad and Tobago. There are many people that want to, you know, to give to the country and help the country. But, you know, sometimes family decisions weigh on that. You know, decisions that politicians make can affect people's decisions, whether they figure they want to stay here. You know, they may go to other islands.
Yeah, and why I was saying that because, you know, time to time you see other things in other developed countries, and they talk about, they try to capture these best minds, as Wenda was talking about for sport. Some of them, they make sure that for teaching and doctors and research, and, you know, so I'm just wondering what we do, you know.
The closest we have is that scholarship tying you into working for Trinidad and Tobago. Now, Trinidad and Tobago has, and I mean people in the medical fraternity could correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe Trinidad and Tobago has a high per capita in terms of the doctor to the amount of, you know, there's a doctor-patient ratio. Trinidad is pretty higher in terms of medicine. We have I think we have a pretty high doctor to patient ratio. You know, they have like one doctor for every 100 people, one doctor for every 1,000 people. You know, there's an international standard, and I think we're well above that standard.
Yeah.
Probably the highest in the Caribbean, maybe after Cuba and maybe some of the smaller. I don't know if any of the smaller islands are ahead of us in that ratio. So we may complain about health facilities and stuff at points in terms of treatments and hospitals and stuff, but some of our doctors are pretty well qualified and are among the best.
Our education is of a high standard here in Trinidad and Tobago. It is. It has always been, but it's improved a lot, especially under that Patrick Manning era, where he would have made it available to all and sundry at some point in time.
Well, I think Patrick Manning's vision was to make as much of the society tertiary educated as possible.
Yeah.
Dr. Rowley and the Dr. Rowley Common partnership didn't see it in that light, as far as I'm concerned. So they started to reintroduce fees, and I think this government is kind of along that same line. But my thinking of that, I believe that tertiary education should be free.
Yeah.
And I get some people will abuse the system, but I do think that it should be free. And if you have to use some of the Heritage Stabilization Fund for that, so be it.
Yeah.
I think it's
All right,
worth
let's greet the folks in the chat, folks. Let me take off my camera and go to the comments. And let's greet the folks in the chat. We have lots of people on the chat already this morning. Let's start off with Eunice. Oops. Valerie Mendoza, of course, came in at 12:10 a.m. Good morning to the breakfast student. Kenny in Harlem, Odell Guy in Sangre Grande, Eunice Dublin, Pamela O'Connor, Suzanne Jessup, that's Suzanne Suzette, Corey, Mrs. Gemma, Maria F. and Maria H. Gerald Hawaii says good morning. Deborah Noel Surrett, Apollina's Shuma Paul, Joyce Philip, Diane, Manuela Peters, Marcia Rock, Andrea John, that's not a name I'm familiar with. Boy Bidesi from Davio, you're going boy, long time to hear from. Hilary Benjamin says, thank you, Lord, for another day. Robert Taylor in Fernandina Beach, Marlon Motley, Melissa in Sharpleg, Gavin Frank, Merle McComey, Ingrid in Tucson, Michael Robinson in Yokohama, Angela Green, Arlene Lewis, Carla Hercules, Sankofa, Felix Kazo, Debbie Modest, Debbie Mitchell, early today, Christusa Melchizedek, Cheryl Maraj, Chris is saying, so they have an electrical issues on all they want data centers. I don't know, all of a sudden we having all these electrical dips and all kind of thing happening. Don't worry when we call businesses here, it's the same rounders. It's crazy, yeah? Slick Money Grip, Wayne Ramsey, Nadia Stephen, Carlisle Cupid, Prabha Ramdial, Derek Duncan says, I cut flow long time in we in Mearu have RVR. What's RVR? It's a private entity, I guess. Sir Charles, this is from Dean Allen. We have a scholarship program. I have met 2 people on national scholarships. It's amazing what it covers. They're supposed to come back and serve for a period. Well, Richard would have spoken about that a while ago. Hilary Zahn, Derek Duncan says, good morning to my wife and son in Jamar. Stellar Services, good morning. Dean Allen, I tell you, we have thing. The problem is the political elite. So it has always been, Carlisle Cupid is saying many of them also have to work as OGT recruits. Of course, Richard would have also spoken about that. Diana Hamill, Predators, Lincoln, Foxshot, Gary might make a good money. Gary might make a good something of, I don't know if it's good money or sports. I don't know if it's good money, I mean to say. I wonder if he would accept that position. He always says he wants to serve. It would be interesting to see if he's willing to serve. Yeah, he is also very sport-oriented. Lincoln, all right. Dean Allen says, no, Wendell, our education has slipped. It is now more rope and troop. Test papers curriculum. Well, we spoke about that, about how it was rolled back under the previous administration and this one. Carlisle Cupid says Europe is a more viable option than the US presently. Donald Trump's anti-immigration stance has generated considerable difficulty. Garfield Hazel, good morning. Darren Thompson, that's a name I haven't seen for a while. Annie Bunyan, nice to have you back. And Julia Samantha. Those are all the folks in the chat this morning, guys.
Right, good morning, Julia. And Michael. And Marlon, sorry, I said Michael. Marlon Motley.
Good morning to everybody. We have a lot of people also on the WhatsApp this morning. So Mr. Billy came in first on the WhatsApp. Also Peter Wilson in St. James. Good morning. Kent in Laventel. Debbie Modest, good day to you. Rena Boodoo Jennings, Pity Valley. Far Rockaway, good day to you. Also to Mr. Beeps in Pity Valley. Frank in Aruka. Archbishop Ashton Clark and the folks out there in Canada. Zena is up very early this morning. Zena, I hope that you're feeling well. Yeah. Also to Virginia, Ron DeSantis, good day to you. Captain Ron, good morning to you in Orlando. All right, this is a new one. Sharon Charles, good day to you. Fifi in Addis Ababa. Let me see. Fifi says, tell Wendell there's too much glare coming through. He needs to close the blinds. Wendell?
Yeah, I can't. Unfortunately, I can't close them. I just don't have blackouts on them.
Okay. Also to CJ out there in New York, and of course Horatio is on this chat also. So good morning to everybody, and we thank you very much for being with us here on the net. Let's go for that break and come back.
Advertise with us on New Era TT Radio, the fastest growing streaming platform for talk in Trinidad and Tobago. Audio and video ads welcome. Elevate your brand with us. Connect with us at newerattradio@yahoo.com or call us at 299-5156. Now what are you waiting for?
What do we all want for Trinidad and Tobago? Safer communities, greater opportunities, and a better future. Join Denise Deming every Tuesday at 11 a.m. on NETT Radio for Common Ground TNT. Each week, respected guests tackle the issues affecting our nation, from crime and education to healthcare, the economy, and good governance. Common Ground TNT, finding solutions through conversation. Tuesdays at 11 a.m. on NETT Radio, Net Radio.
S&H Rumbox, 137 Western Main Road, St. James, for all your retail and wholesale needs for alcohol and non-alcoholic beverages. Call us at 686-0599 or visit us at 137 Western Main Road, St. James. S&H Rumbox, drinking out of the box.
Join me, Brother David Muhammad, every Tuesday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. here on New Era TT Radio, Net Radio, Powerful Radio. Join me to hear knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Tuesdays, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. here on New Era TT Radio, Net Radio.
All right, we go straight into the newspapers today. The online edition of today's Express reads, woman prison officer arrested. I'll keep my camera off for the benefit of the people who get in the glare and for getting to read the chat and other things, right? Woman prison officer arrested. This says a woman prison officer with more than 19 years service was arrested at the Golden Roof prison in Aruka yesterday after she was found with prohibited articles. Prison officers still doing this thing. Oh, goodness. PNM Sando East executive resigns. Apparently, the entire executive of the PNM San Fernando East constituency has resigned amid ongoing internal tensions. And as I said, I listened to that press conference yesterday. When we speak with Robert Le Hunte in the next hour, We will go into that.
I missed that press conference. How did that go?
I don't know what our press conference was about. I saw no purpose behind it, honestly, except to berate the member of parliament for San Fernando East, who I think, in all honesty, because I said it, I posted it, mishandled his allegations, because you can't make allegations and then not show up to back up your allegations, right? And you can't make those kind of allegations publicly without having your evidence or whatever. I don't know to what end. Remember, I said I found it strange what he was saying, but then the party is now mishandling how they are dealing with it, I think, because you can't tell an MP, that obey the party's constitution and be disciplined and so on, and then you yourself acting in a high-handed manner like that in the public. It didn't make sense to me. You understand? And Dr. Amy Brown, I'm sorry, you telling people how to act, it just didn't come across good with me yesterday. Right? I didn't see the point in it, but you all will have your opinion on it, of course, I'm sure. Right?
I have no opinion, I didn't see it.
Sorry?
I said I have no opinion, I didn't see it.
Yeah, no, it didn't make sense calling a press conference for what they did here. Well, it fixed the problem now. It's been mishandled on both ends. Try to fix it or move on.
And I understand the political leader was not there.
Sorry, both of you.
It's not a good look for the PNM, because it kind of makes the PNM look disorganized, which is kind of strange for the PNM, because you don't really accuse them of looking disorganized. They're usually very organized. But it's not a good look.
But politics has changed so much over the years that the PNM has had issues, and I reminded people about some of those issues yesterday. Carl Member's responsibility yesterday was to also remind people of other issues, but I don't know that this issue reached the stage of anybody leaving or threatening to leave. People cross floor, leave the PNM already, and cause all kind of eruption in the past.
Yeah, but have you ever had that an entire executive resign?
Yes, but those things back then it would not have made so much, it would not have been so much of an issue. There was a terrible fallout one time in St. Joseph constituency. You understand? There have been instances where members of executives have resigned already amid some fallout with the MP or whatever. That has happened in the past. But this one was triggered by the MP.
Yeah. So that was kind of weird. And of course, Brian Manning has a certain amount of prominence because of his father. And I see also that some of the fallout is, I'm seeing a public resignation on Facebook this morning by Joel Primus. And he's kind of basically berating the party and basically saying that I'm paraphrasing, he didn't say it this way, but basically that the days and what the party stood for under Dr. Eric Williams, George Chambers, and Patrick Manning is no longer there. And he's not, and even though he has not been very active in the party, he doesn't think that it holds any of those values anymore, and he's out. I'm paraphrasing.
I saw that resignation, and I kind of just say, okay, so everybody who resigning now could make papers, so fine, go ahead. You know what I mean? Because Joel Primus
he's not insignificant. He's held some positions in the party. Was he a senator at one time?
Yeah, Richard, he has stopped serving since 2012.
Yeah.
How significant is that now?
What I'm saying, it's not insignificant in terms of he's not just an ordinary member. He would have served in the upper echelons of the party to some degree. So he's not a rank and file member in the ordinary sense. You resign and nobody know who you are. We do know who he is.
I hear you. But again, as I said, it's I don't know what is going on, but they need to fix it. I don't know how they're going to fix it, but it's not.
That's what I started off by saying it comes across as being disorganized. That's how it comes across.
Yeah,
and it may not be, but that's the perception.
Yeah,
and in politics, perception is a lot.
Yeah,
and according to Ashton Ford, where was the political leader?
Yes.
Yeah, well, they answered that at the conference itself. They answered that. They said, there's a leadership. It wasn't necessary for her to be there. I beg to differ. You understand? I beg to differ at an important
Who
conference like
decides
that.
that, boy? Who decides the leader should not be there?
I don't know. Something like that. I think Mrs. Beckles Robinson should have taken charge of and put an end to it. Put an end to it. That's what it needs right now. It needs the leader, not the leadership. It needs the leader to put an end to it. That is my opinion. You can disagree with that. It needs the leader to put an end to it. Right?
Anyhow, go ahead with the headlines.
Corporal pleads not guilty to sexual misconduct charges, and of course, that's the tribunal that's taking place, the court martial that's taking place in the Army, the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force. Gonzalez, Manning on dangerous path. Who says Marvin Gonzalez about Brian Manning? More lotto won't work. A third weekly lotto draw will not generate additional revenue. September 9th deadline for THA, and that's in relation to the jet ski incident. Man shot dead at Wallerfield home. And what else? Road rage, beating of police sergeant in Faizabad. Those are all. And body of missing man recovered near Nyland Pool. I don't know if maybe we shouldn't show that video, Sir Charles, because there's a video of him prior to him drowning that clearly he was in no condition to be anywhere near water or anything of that sort. Well, maybe water from a shower. That's what he should have been close to, not this. Right?
Yeah.
So those are all trending stories in today's Express Online. Yeah.
All right, so I go to the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian for this morning, and if you love a PNM Bacchanal, well, that is what you get, because it's on the front page. When the red party, who always red and ready, not ready, well, it makes front page news. Am I stressing it enough, Wendell? Am I
You're doing well. You better be there when Robert Le Hunte come on.
PNM turns on Manning. That's the headline. PNM turns on Manning. Party strongly condemned Sando East MP for airing dirty laundry in public. So that's the main headline. So it doesn't get bigger than that. They love writing that headline where PNM turns on Manning.
In a long time, they haven't got the chance to write a headline like that.
We knew that what happened when he lost the elections, when the PNM people turned on him and caused him to get sick.
Yes.
Yeah. So anyway, even though PNM people say they didn't cause him to get sick, but of course you all did. But PNM Sando East executive resigns amid impasse with MP. Ali Boca seizes on PNM San Fernando East executive crisis. Voodoo, no evidence produced to support corruption allegations. Georgia Lee Gill secures Miss World Top 40 spot. Well, we didn't show that yesterday. Just now in business news, analyst Venezuela gas could be, all right, I read that yesterday. Thank you, Garden, for still having repeat stories. Union questions TSTT's executive proliferation. Ramdeen says more NGC profits to come. Munilal talks with Nutrien and Methanex continuing. And Methanex's last cargo sails from Point Lisas. Mother of 12 living in roadside stall appeals for help. National Self-Help CEO sent on leave amid misconduct probe. And in sports, stop disrespecting TNT's 2008 Olympic gold medalists. Amazon Warriors ground Falcons to extend unbeaten streak. Lacrosse team narrowly misses out on podium finish at Pan Am Championships. Jefferson Wooden ends Alfred's unbeaten season with Diamond League win, and Haiti whip Jamaica to claim CFU Under 14 Challenge Series. And that's it for the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian this morning. Next up is Did You Know?
A modern day public lynching. Okay, so if you didn't know, Jason Ardea, a former Cambridge University professor who recently resigned over a plagiarism scandal, was found dead at the age of 41. Jason became the youngest black professor ever to be appointed at Cambridge University. Then some plagiarism allegations came about, right? And bear in mind, the university that awarded him the PhD, John Moores University, Liverpool, actually cleared him of any wrongdoing. And it was this man, Nathan Comfus, who basically started this campaign or alleged that he'd plagiarized, right? Bear in mind, this is the same man that apparently said the following. He called himself a race realist, and he argued that under true meritocracy, black people would disappear from almost all high-profile positions outside of sport and entertainment. This man is the man that started the allegations. Anyway, so Cambridge had started investigating it. Fair play, do you think? Jason had also then just resigned from his position. What led from that was 249 articles in 22 days. That doesn't even include like news channels or social media or LBC on the hour every hour about a university professor and alleged academic misconduct. Bear in mind, all these articles then started on him as a person, his personal life, his career, his charity work, his marathon running, his childhood. Journalists were contacting people that went to school with him to really investigate whether he really was non-verbal at the age of 11. At some point, it stopped being, did Jason plagiarize, and turned into, can we prove that this black man's entire existence is fraudulent? Reality is, we have to talk about racism here, right? Because racism isn't just always someone shouting a slur at you. Sometimes it's about disproportionality. Who gets investigated, how they get investigated, and we're satisfied with how much they've been punished. Because the thing is, he resigned. So he left the position, so move on. Simon Goldhill was also a university professor, and he was done for sexual misconduct. He resigned, it was reported, people moved on. There wasn't 249 articles. Dr. O'Reilly, who was done for plagiarizing his students' work, didn't get the same amount of media coverage. No one rang his childhood to find out what he did when he was a kid. The amount of politicians and people in power that are doing corrupt things, people that we elect, people that have a direct impact on our daily lives, and they don't get the same amount of media scrutiny. The reality is, the media will always cover the wrongdoings of a black person or a person of colour because then they can prove that this is why you don't belong in our spaces. Young black autistic man being the professor at Cambridge University, that's not your space, love. And you mess up once and we are going to make sure that we destroy you. We're going to use you as an example so then everyone that comes after you knows exactly where they stand. Just look how a black autistic man's entire life was put on trial and ask me again whether race played a part. Because if you only recognise racism when someone shouts a slur, you're going to miss a whole lot of racism. Sometimes you don't need a slur. Sometimes all you need is a microscope that only seems to magnify certain people.
Very well put together. Very well said. Because I remember I raised that issue with you one day, Richard, because I don't think we ever really covered it. I don't think we ever really spoke about it.
Yeah.
That was such a sad story of that young man. Sad story.
Yeah.
And it just shows the cruelty of the human being again.
Yeah. And racism.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because, the UK, I always find the UK has, is there racism in the UK? Absolutely.
Oh, yes.
And I've been to the UK once, and even though I felt that London felt familiar, and I don't know if it's something to our colonial past, but it felt familiar. I didn't feel a stranger, like, in New York, New York is New York. You're in a strange city. If you're in another city in the US, it's a strange city. I didn't feel that way in London. But I felt that racism was more apparent in London than it was in New York.
Mm-hmm.
That I would say. I felt the British were a little bit more unfriendly. Not everybody, but vis-a-vis New York, I find New York people are generally more friendly.
New York probably is not the best example.
Well, it's two major cities I'm looking at, New York.
Yeah.
And at least this is my experience. I don't know other people's experience. My experience in New York is that people have been friendly no matter what race.
Yeah, you're gonna meet a lot of Caribbean people in New York, in particular. You know, even though London has a lot of Caribbean people too, but it's your interaction will more be
You
with.
know, I didn't meet that many Caribbean people when I was in New York because I generally am staying in Manhattan, not Brooklyn.
Oh,
And
you're a big shot. I forget.
so, no, well, I was my friend, but so most
I
of the
just
people I
teasing you.
interacted with, most of the people I interacted with were New Yorkers,
Mm-hmm.
you know, but so, you know, all sorts
Yeah,
of New Yorkers,
but
English,
Europe racism. Trust me, it's there. Every now
yeah,
and then you get it, depending on where you go. Every now and then you get it, even if it's just as I explained at time. Even if it's just to use a bathroom, all of a sudden the bathrooms don't work. You know what I mean? It's there. Certain
yeah,
places you go, it's there.
yeah. I got that sense of and that was my sense of, no, that's years ago I went to London, but that was my sense of London, that I liked it in a particular way, but I also felt it a little bit more unfriendly city in comparison to New York and my experiences in New York.
Okay, people, let's see if we can take a couple calls before we go into the morning poll. 281-131-529-951-56. Enough issues are outside there that you guys
Yeah.
can talk about. So we give you the opportunity to call us.
I do not know about that, Glenn. Huh? I'll
It's
just
not
keep
so
it calm.
horrible.
Stop worrying
It's
about
not,
it.
it's not that bad, at least from me watching it.
Yeah, it's
No.
not.
Well, let me satisfy you at least.
Yeah, it's not that bad. I don't know who complained that it was that bad. It's not that bad. At least I don't know how it's reproducing on television, but to me, it's, yeah,
Okay.
there's a little bit behind it, but it's not.
Yeah, it's livable.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so we have a caller coming in there. Caller, good morning to you. Welcome.
Lincoln.
Hey, good morning, gentlemen.
Wendell know you well.
You just my name, was that so?
As he paused, I think he was watching.
Yeah. Come back yet.
No.
All right.
Probably be out here for another 2 months or something like that.
Okay.
Gentlemen, I am hearing about the Manning situation. It's unfortunate that he chose. I thought he had more guidance, being the son of a prime minister and a political leader, and all of that exposure that he must have had. But it seems like he's no different to the young, inexperienced Tamfa Kojo and making those same newbie mistakes, rookie mistakes as we would call it. That I don't know if he could recover from. I'm really not sure if he could recover from it. Right? I'm
Well,
being
in politics, when people don't like you, that's it, you know.
Yeah.
So I've heard.
Yeah. Wendell should know about that.
Like you Wendell too.
Didn't I warn you all that when an executive turns on you, you do your cuckoo cooked, you know?
Hey.
Yeah, you did say that. You did say that.
Yeah.
Right? But a question, gentlemen, because I heard about the person in England. Are there any suspicion that that it wasn't suicide? Unlike similarly to the US, where you have these maybe dozen persons of color who are found hanging from trees and whatnot, and for some reason the FBI not getting involved, and for some reason all of these states, the police service in all of these states are finding these suicides to be acknowledging these things to be suicide, which I personally believe is a systematic racist thing that these police organizations has to be colluding for all of them to find black people hanging from trees to be suicide. I strongly believe that the KKK has morphed into the police service in a lot of these states. And pardon me?
No, I just laughed loud at what you just said.
Yeah, I strongly believe that the KKK has rebranded itself to be police officers, and
not ICE,
there's no
not
apologies to
ICE,
say that.
not
Pardon?
The
ICE.
ice too, well, he brought it. He's using the broad
Please, not ICE,
There's a
because there's more suggestion. There's more suggestion, anecdotal, if maybe that ICE has attracted a lot of that kind of element.
Yeah. And what is disappointing is that the FBI which supposed to be neutral, hasn't stepped in to further investigate these incidents, and it's disappointing to know that we ain't reached far. When I say we, people of color hasn't reached that far from the 1950s and 40s. If they're still hanging people in 2026. No, you telling me all these a dozen cases and nobody has seen nothing, nobody has hear nothing, no DNA. It's just amazing and sad.
Well, Lincoln, which is why, from a broader global context and even from a Trinidad and Tobago context, it's why leadership matters. And the language that leaders use can affect a society. That's a prime example. And that's why it's important in terms of how leaders speak to citizens and speak also to a global audience, because you may be on a little island, but when you talk, whatever you say goes global, right? And that's why language is important in terms of how you say what you say and the mood you set for a country. And you can't be impervious to that. And if you're impervious to that, then you're a bad leader. And a lot of the times that's what's happening in a lot of several countries around the planet right now. And we talk about it all the time here, where we talk about the issues of empathy and kindness and humanity, where they seem to be bad words for some on the right. That somehow empathy is equated with weakness. So that you have our Prime Minister lecturing to us about people who are seeking social welfare, basically don't stop taking advantage of the taxpayers if you're abusing the system. Not those that deserve it, but those who are abusing the system. The kind of usual trajectory set in a more how should I say, more angry way than what the PNM would have done under its ministers. Because the PNM under its ministers was always about, we need to catch the people who are abusing the system, rather than, so they make things difficult for the people who need it, which has always been a pet peeve of mine. And similarly, it's like that. So when you lump everybody and say, oh, don't abuse the system and taxpayers should stop paying for people who are seeking vulnerable grants, but you broad base it like that, or you broad brush it like that, it sends a message, right? And the message is an erosion of empathy from the leadership up to the vulnerable in society. Even though you're trying to say, well, I'm not really talking to those who really in need, I'm talking to those who are taking advantage. But after a while, it becomes one bunch you're talking to.
Yeah, let's get into the morning poll as we go to the news at...
I'm not finished talking, you know, Sir.
At 7:05. Now let's get into the morning poll, please.
I swear, I'm only under the same space. Anyway, our poll this morning is continuing on the Brian Manning San Fernando East story, because there have been, of course, rumors. Do you expect MP Brian Manning to cross the floor? If you're voting yes, you're voting 1. If you're voting no, you're voting 2. Of course, our guest in the next hour will be Treasurer of the PNM, former Senator, former Minister, Robert Le Hunte.
That sounds like that you and Sir Charles Rel collaborate on.
While you wake me up some hour last night. What I expect?
Oh, Lord. Yeah. Yeah. The news is next. Stay with us here on The Breakfast Show. All right.
The news you need, the clarity you deserve. Local, regional, global. This is Net Radio News Now.
This is News Now on Net Radio and Guile TV. I am Derek McMillan. Thank you for joining us. The internal dispute within the People's National Movement over the San Fernando East constituency has intensified, with the PNM National Women's League publicly rebuking MP Brian Manning. The league said it was concerned about Manning's recent public statements questioning the integrity of the process to select a new constituency executive. Manning had raised what he described as potential conflicts of interest involving members of the party's national structures, questioning whether anyone should recuse themselves. However, the Women's League said Manning has the right to raise concerns, but should do so through the party's established internal mechanisms. The league said the process to address his concerns is already underway and accused Manning of continuing to air the dispute publicly, potentially weakening party structures and creating further division. It is calling on Manning to step back from the public confrontation and allow the PNM's internal process to run its course. Patients are raising concerns about shortages of some medications in Trinidad and Tobago's public health system, including drugs used to treat cancer, diabetes, and heart conditions. Patients at St. James Medical Complex and other public facilities say they have been told certain medications are unavailable and have had to travel to different dispensaries to fill prescriptions. Breast cancer patients reported difficulties accessing Faslodex, while some diabetics said Jardiance has also been in short supply. Patients say buying the drugs privately can be expensive, with one reporting Jardiance costing up to $22 per tablet. A healthcare worker blamed lengthy procurement times and said the drug acquisition process needs to be reviewed to prevent shortages of commonly used medications. Attempts to get a response from Health Minister Dr. Lakram Bodo and the North Central Regional Health Authority were unsuccessful. The National Trade Union Center, NETT, is calling on the government to reconsider its decision not to consult the Steelworkers Union over plans to reopen the former ArcelorMittal steel plant at Point Lisas. NATUP supports the investment by Pinnacle Steel and Vanadium Corporation and its local subsidiary, Ibis Steel, saying the project could create jobs and boost the economy. However, General Secretary Michael Anisette says the reopening must include meaningful consultation with organized labor. NATUP says more than 45% of the 2,000 workers affected by the plant's 2016 closure have expressed interest in returning, although the union is not demanding automatic reemployment. It is also calling for greater transparency over outstanding payments to former workers and stronger protections during corporate insolvencies. With the plant having been idle for a decade, NATUC is also stressing strict safety measures before operations resume. The group wants government, investors, and labor to engage in tripartite talks. In crime news, police have shot and killed a man identified as Ricardo following a confrontation in Mayaro. Police say officers responding to a report of an intruder at Tucker Energy Services found the man nearby, armed with a cutlass. He allegedly resisted arrest and chopped one officer on the hand. Police say the officer then opened fire, killing him. The man was also allegedly found with an iguana during the closed hunting season. 3 officers were treated for minor injuries. Meanwhile, a female prison officer with more than 19 years' service was arrested at Golden Grove Prison after allegedly being found with prohibited items during a routine security check. She was taken to the Aruca police station and is assisting with investigations. And in Wallerfield, 49-year-old Kumar Balkasoon was shot dead at his home. Police recovered 3 spent 9mm shells. His killing brings the murder toll to 237 for the year. In regional news, Barbados Prime Minister Mia Mottley arrived in Venezuela on Monday for talks with acting President Delcy Rodriguez, as both countries look to strengthen bilateral relations. Mottley said the discussions are focused on energy and food security, while creating opportunities for Barbadian farmers, fishers, and businesses. She also pointed to plans for stronger tourism and trade links, easier movement of goods, and opportunities for Barbadians through scholarships, language training, and cultural exchanges. Motley highlighted Barbados' support for Venezuela, following the devastating earthquakes in June, when the island sent rescue workers, medical teams, humanitarian supplies, and a field hospital. Rodriguez visited Barbados in April, where the two leaders discussed cooperation in energy and food security. Motley says the relationship must ultimately deliver greater opportunities and security for Barbadian families. Finally, Caribbean immigration advocates in New York are welcoming a U.S. court ruling that struck down the Trump administration's suspension of immigrant visa processing for nationals of 75 countries, including 12 Caribbean nations. U.S. District Judge Jeanette Vargas ruled that the policy was unlawful and exceeded the authority of Secretary of State Marco Rubio. The policy, introduced in January, paused immigrant visa issuance to nationals of countries including Jamaica, Barbados, Haiti, Trinidad's Caribbean neighbors, and several other Caribbean states. The New York Immigration Coalition said the ruling restores a case-by-case immigration process, instead of decisions being based on nationality. The organization's president, Murad Awade, called the decision a victory for fairness and families separated by the policy. The ruling does not affect tourist visas, which are classified as non-immigrant visas. And that is Net Radio News at this time.
That was News Now. Stay informed with New Era TT Radio. Net Radio.
Your mid-morning just got better. Join Sir Charles for the mid-morning mix and mingle, where good music, real talk, health, and family matters come together, and your voice is heard. Whether you're at work, on the go, or just taking a break, this is the perfect mix to keep you engaged, informed, and entertained. The mid-morning mix and mingle, weekdays, 9 a.m. to 12 noon on New Era TT Radio, Net Radio.
Vibes, fresh energy. This is the Net Radio Breakfast Show.
With your hands them up in the sky, rolling back and having a time. Lord, we like men again, and we have money to spend. Yes, we jamming down to the end. See me with me carnival friend. Lord, me carnival friend. I wish she come from there. London, I wish she come from there. New York, I wish she come from there. When you come in, my baby, I wish she come from there. Atlanta, she come from there. Toronto, she come from there. And I know that you miss me. I love the way that you bring a vibe. With your hands them up in the sky, falling down and having a time. Wine season again, and we have money to spend, and we jamming down to the end. Rolling with me carnival friend, lad, me carnival friend, yeah. Me carnival friend, oh yeah. Lord, me carnival friend, yeah. Lord, me carnival friend, until we meet up again. Everything done start, you know. The back done pack, you know. She dreaming to take a wine on me, cause she coming down to please. When she ramage, she push it back, all the bam bam rolling, and she saving some for me. I telling you, I love whenever you bring a vibe. With your hands them up in the sky, watch we drunk and having a time. Carnival time again, and we have money to spend, and we go right down to the end. Watch me with me carnival friend, them me carnival friend, yeah. Now me carnival friend, oh yeah. Now me carnival friend, yeah. Now me carnival friend, until we meet up again. When we meet, rum go beat. Things so sweet, feel complete, cause we love we bacchanal. Heat, rum go beat. Things so sweet, it must be carnival. Love the way that you bring a vibe, with your hands them up in the sky, rolling back and having a time. Lord, we lying again, and we have real money to spend, and we jamming down to the end. See me with my cannibal friend, then my cannibal friend, yeah. Me cannibal friend, oh yeah. Lord, me cannibal friend, yeah. Lord, me cannibal friend. Until we beat up again, yeah. Hey. I wish she come from there, Sando. I wish she come from there, Caranage. Wish she come from there, and she love she bacana. I wish she come from there, Sando. I wish she come from there, Caranage. Wish she come from there, and she love she bacana.
You're locked into Net Radio Breakfast Show, fueling your day with the best music
and she love she bacana.
Yes, so you come from there. Me and my carnival friend and damn. I tell all my carnival friend, we're from carnival to carnival. They're up in the thing. Yes, CP, good morning to you. GP, good morning to you guys. 17 minutes past the hour of 7 o'clock. We're making sure we keep you always in check with time. It's a beautiful Tuesday morning. It is a wonderful day, actually. Yeah. Look like it's going to be one of those scorchers too. But whatever comes our way, trust me, we are just going to make the best of it. And I know you will do also. Early risers, good morning to you. The Anthem crew, thank you very much for tuning in. All those folks that came in along the way, we welcome you and we thank you. Also, let me say good morning to the folks at Gael Caribbean TV, who take us to the rest of the Caribbean. Thank you so much, people. So today it is a Tuesday. Couple things to let you know that coming up at 11 o'clock, and of course that will be your next engagement. All you people on YouTube and Facebook. Yeah, Denise Deming, Common Ground. So that's coming up at 11 o'clock today. Also a little later on, the Black Agenda with David Mohammed between 6 and 8 p.m. Good morning, brother David Mohammed. Yeah. All here for you on Net Radio. Now remember, people, when you don't see us, because we carry the talk shows on our platform. Yeah, because there's block the music, right? So you get the talk shows, but when you are not on the talk shows and you want to hang out with us, come across to netradiott.com. That's NETT radiott.com. That way you're able to listen to us all day and every day. What we want you also to do, people, is to share the links with your friends and your family and anybody in your different groups, your WhatsApp group. Share it on your page, so more people can know about the goodness that is happening down here at Net Radio, all right? So just share it. When you get the link, you share the link. Also, don't forget to visit. Yeah, and all kind of slow on this one. We'll have to keep and check with social media. So, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and our WhatsApp channel. Remember, you can find us at Net Radio Trinidad. Easy branding, Net Radio Trinidad. Put it in any one of them. Once you reach any platform, Net Radio Trinidad, you're going to find us. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow those channels, and you can also donate to the channel to keep us up and running, right? There's a donate button in between all of them.
And she loves she bacana.
Also, when you're streaming, because we are streaming global, yeah, so you can get us on Radio Garden, MyTuner Online Radio Box, Simple Radio, and Tune In, all right? Any one of those platforms, you don't have to come off your platform. No. You can stay there, just put in Net Radio Trinidad, and you'll find us.
And she loves she bacana.
Don't forget to give your Google and smart devices that command play Net Radio Trinidad or play NETT Radio Trinidad.
Caranage where she come from there.
So people,
And she love she back and
our morning poll, it's up and do you expect, with all the bacchanal all here taking place within the PNM, they're actually giving the government a rest these days?
Sando, how she come from there.
Do you believe that MP Brian Manning
And she love she back and
will cross the floor? That is what we're asking you. If he's offered by the opposition to come across on our side, do you think Mr. Manning will do that? Well, if you think yes, you're voting 1. If you're thinking no, you're voting 2. When we come back after the break, we'll tell you how you voted. So stay with us on The Breakfast Show. And of course, to the folks out there at Big Bear Bar, we're coming your way this Saturday.
You know, Dorothy Jean.
Sando, how she come from there. Caranage where she come from there. And she love she back and how she come from there. Sando, how she come from there. Caranage where she...
If you feel you can sing or just feel like hanging out with your friends, well then, the Big Bear Bar, Johnson Street and Southern Main Road Enterprise presents their Karaoke Saturdays each and every Saturday. Come and enjoy the fun. Bring your crew. It's live DJ music and sweet karaoke every Saturday. And this Saturday, Net Radio will be there to bring you the action live from 8 p.m. with DJ Jeremiah, Mr. Lover Lover. Come and enjoy the time of your life at the Big Bear Bar, Karaoke Saturdays, Johnson Street and Southern Main Road Enterprise, opposite Tropical Angel Hop Spaniard. And remember, Net Radio will be there live.
S&H Rumbox, 137 Western Main Road, St. James, for all your retail and wholesale needs for alcohol and non-alcoholic beverages. Call us at 686-0599 or visit us at 137 Western Main Road, St. James. S&H Rumbox, drinking out of the box.
What do we all want for Trinidad and Tobago? Safer communities, greater opportunities, and a better future. Join Denise Deming every Tuesday at 11 a.m. on NETT Radio for Common Ground TNT. Each week, respected guests tackle the issues affecting our nation, from crime and education to healthcare, the economy, and good governance. Common Ground TNT, finding solutions through conversation. Tuesdays at 11 a.m. on NETT Radio, Net Radio.
Join me, Brother David Muhammad, every Tuesday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. here on New Era TT Radio, Net Radio, Powerful Radio. Join me to hear knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Tuesdays, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. here on New Era TT Radio, Net Radio.
Advertise with us on New Era TT Radio, the fastest growing streaming platform for talk in Trinidad and Tobago. Audio and video ads welcome. Elevate your brand with us. Connect with us at newerattradio@yahoo.com or call us at 299-5156. Now what are you waiting for?
Okay, everybody, welcome back to the Breakfast Show. 25 minutes past the hour of 7 o'clock. And of course, all those who made it to work on time today. Hey, big respect to you guys. You made it on time. Oh, they're like Wendell. Wendell's a good employee. You know, Wendell always on time. If it's one thing.
You're right.
Yeah.
And he works as a boss.
the only thing that he don't stay in one place for too long. You understand?
No.
Every time I go down St. James, he just sleep here. I don't tell Rachel like when that is ha we can real.
You need to work harder. That's what you need to do.
Good morning to you. You understand? Don't mind Wendell. You understand? Every time I go to my room, I don't see Harper. I don't see Wendell. When I say I'm coming down. Oh my word, right? St. James, boy, all the nice, yes. Yeah.
Of course. We are the best.
I might be in St. James after lunch today.
Tuesdays, I generally don't come into town at all.
Okay.
Generally do it. Unless I absolutely have to. Somebody give me a good reason to come.
Good reason.
That's when I. Yeah.
Wow. Well, I must admit we have a lot of people. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. I was going to say, you're right, you know. This thing in the PNM has given the government a much needed break. If I was them, I'd have paved the whole savannah right now.
Now is the time to pave.
I would have blown real back and put up real police posts.
Yeah. PNM distracted, you know. So.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, it's amazing though that the government, I mean, they just started to beat themselves all of a sudden. Yeah. So they take all the thunder from you.
Yeah. They said, thanks, PNM. Thank you very much. Only keep going.
Yeah. It's an amazing how the news just shift. But that's how politics in Trinidad and Tobago is. Roland Sanka, what is wrong with you, boy? And what you doing on this chat? You're not in work yet? Anyway, let me see if I can get back on my.
I had a thought that runs through my mind just now. With this whole mind. Oh, what's all that? And it just escaped me, talking all that sort of thing. Anyhow. Yeah.
Some interesting comments on the chat, though. Some interesting comments on the chat, I have to say. People getting our shit a bit all emotional sometimes about some things. But
yeah. So, people, we can take a couple of your calls on the poll. Do you think that Mr. Manning is going to cross the floor? How do you see it? All right. 281131529951556. And remember, coming up in a little bit, we have Sir Robert Le Hunte. Yeah, and we have plenty of things to talk with besides PNM, We have banking and all kind of things to talk about.
Yeah, it has some other financial issues that we could chat with him about. He being a renowned banker.
And I'm also interested in what's going on with the breakfast shed situation, too.
Yeah, we haven't heard any update on that.
For a long way. So this is a very important interview with Mr. Le Hunte this morning. I really look forward to it. All right, caller, good morning. Welcome.
Morning, Sir Charles. Morning, Wendell.
Morning.
Morning.
For me, with Mr. Brian Manning, he could jump, he could dive, he could swim across. It doesn't matter to me. If he wants to jump ship, he could jump ship. He could do whatever he wants.
Well, he
At the end of the day, he should not put PNM business out in the open. Don't put your dirty laundry out in the open. You understand? Because, we done opposition already. We don't have to go through our thing now. Now you're making UNC feeling good now. You're making UNC feeling good. Look, Matu, I want to say something here. Hold on.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
I'm not surprised. He ain't gonna cross no floor. It's just the only difference, Mr. Patrick Manning, that used to happen, and he just used to keep it underneath. Nobody never know about it. No, Mr. Brian Manning find out how. The real question is how long this was going on for, and he was holding down the fort to keep it quiet, and he realized nothing ain't happening. But my twin say she own thing, but this is me. The real question is how long was this going on for? Was it now it happened? Was it going on a while now? And he keep asking questions and he keep saying something and everybody just pushing it under the carpet, and he can't take no more. So he said, you see me? Let me everybody know now what really going on. Because there is the next side of the coin. Yeah. One side of the coin is what my twin sister says, Susan say, and this is the other side of the coin, what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So remember, you have two sides, one coin.
Thanks very much.
Gentlemen, great program as usual.
Nicely.
Great NETT.
I shall prevail, man. Hey,
Only watch me. That's in your talk.
Yeah. PNM had a use we will remember, and we using greatest NETT.
Oh my word! No, but you know what? That's what I was wondering. You know, the issue of itself. Now people talking about and call our committee, about you're going public, but the issue of itself. So what that issue is exactly, people are not focusing in on what that issue is. And if there is a solid base for whether Mr. Manning is saying there's nepotism, cronyism, and all different kinds of isms and schisms that was taking place in that area, that cannot be, if it is, an isolated place in San Fernando East. That means what going on in San Fernando East, most likely going on in other places also. So only know
You mean like Oropuchis and
yeah. That caveat. If Mr. Manning and that region, if that issue is creating this kind of thing in the public domain right now, because he have concerns that his concerns have reached at this point, that cannot be an isolated situation in the party.
Well, Sir Charles, I'll tell you something. I don't know how many people picked up on it yesterday when they listened to the press conference. But what I heard in that press conference, and I'll ask Mr. Le Hunte, is that this thing was triggered first by a letter from the constituency chairman. Anybody else heard that? The first complaint the general secretary got was from a complaint from the constituency chairman. And then a letter came from Mr. Manning about it. So that is what is a bit confusing to me. That is the constituency chairman made a complaint first. I don't know if anybody else heard that, but I heard that yesterday.
Yeah.
And I think that I said, because you're getting the impression, you got the impression the way it was reported and the way it had gone, that it was Mr. Manning who made a complaint about the constituency chairman. But yesterday I didn't get that impression. The timeline suggested that she was the one who first complained about it.
Yeah, so that clarity needs to come.
Yeah.
Caller, good morning. Virginia.
Morning, gentlemen. Not from Virginia, from the center. NETT boy. Yeah. Hey, you know what? When I look at this situation with Brian Manning and then his mom coming into the picture here, I wonder what is happening to my proud African brothers. I thought it's something I only saw with male Caucasians. And let me explain. You know, in the corporate world, you get reviews and stuff, right? With your job performance for the year or whatever, right? And I remember when we gave a review on an employee, Billy, right? Bill. And after we did it, the next day we get a call from his mother, right? Concerned about Billy's review and how Billy is so upset. You know how old Billy is? Billy's 30 years old. And now Mrs. Manning, with all due respect, lady, oh my gosh, I mean, you enjoy your grandchildren and so on, whatever, and you was involved in all of this. For you to come in the picture, Brian, couldn't you at least have that kind of conversation with her? I mean, this is so embarrassing, man. You know what I'm saying? So this is, something is wrong, with our people, man, with our alpha males. What is happening to us? And that's a perspective I'm seeing here. And by the way, him crossing the floor, listen to me, right? He have PNM there in his DNA, right? True. They saying PNM till they're dead, okay? Yeah. Right? So even though he's nothing like his father, but I tell you what, him crossing the floor will be like two political sleeper cells that we all know of, Ralph Moraj and Gypsy. Look at it. Tell me what you think. All right, guys. Have a great day. Bye.
Okay. You confused me with the last part, but that's all right.
You confuse me all the time. The last part alone confused you?
The last part confused me.
You understand the first part?
Yeah. Virginia, I love it. Mr. Billy, good morning.
I just start off laughing at that last call over 3 years. Anyhow, happy and blessed morning to the breakfast show. All I have to say on this matter is that PNM is a 70-year-old party. Our party have some good institutions, network and things. And I am a bit disappointed because what I'm saying is that some of the allegation and this particular MP from San Fernando East, he was a former minister in the Ministry of Finance. You know, so he would have seen some of the paper trail of money, because some of those things that he is accusing, I think is the chairman of his constituency of doing, is still related to money. So I am saying that he would have seen some of the paper trail and know what he's saying about. And the person who I'm most disappointed in, two persons I must say, is the chairman of the party at a press conference, what he said yesterday, and the opposition leaders. He's showing weak leadership and not taking the what they say as the thing by the bull of the horn and discarding. That chairman yesterday said something, I don't know if I'll pick it up, when Mr. Manning raised the issue about impropriety and corruption and things with the chairman. He said that take it to the police, take it to the police. So you want to tell me a 70-year-old party don't have what do you call it, checks and balance and things to deal with things like that? Are you telling him in a most arrogant way, take it to the police? I am saying he might take it to the police, you know. He might take it to the police. But such as I think is you or somebody said something, and it's really clicked something on my brain. How many other constituencies is going through this same thing that Manning, the Honorable Brian Manning, is going through too? There might be other constituencies who they're not really come in and talk out and speak out, right? So it's a frightening situation, and we all must hope for the best result, because our opposition in this country is important. Thank you very much.
Frightening. That's a little stretch. That's a stretch. But I am of the firm opinion. Did Robert Le Hunte come in as yet, Sir Charles?
No.
Because I can't even message him using the phone. Because I am of the firm opinion that when this thing got to where, well, before it got to where it got to, the political leader, and Ashton Ford said it yesterday, should have called them in and said, listen, what it is going on here? Okay, this is what I want happen. Blah, blah, and read the riot act there and then. Because I also heard yesterday, outside of hearing that it was initiated by a letter from the constituency chairman, I also heard yesterday that when Mr. Manning approached the political leader, right, that she said, okay, put it in writing and send it to the thing. Now, that sounds all well and good, but not in this case. This is where you should have said, listen, come, meet me so place. Call Miss Alexis, say, you bring your tail here and meet me so place, and let's deal with this. Once you put that in writing and you put that out there, it is going to come out. It is going to come out. Okay, and which is exactly what happened. And look at what it is. Look at what it has reached now. Deal with it decisively. Deal with it decisively.
Yeah.
That is what happened.
Failure to do that is all this kind of thing to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Caller, good morning.
There is something else running below the surface. We will see it in time to come.
That is it. Because trust me, that ain't going away quietly, you know.
Well, it could, It depends.
Well, it all depends on her. I've been trying to call Mr. Le Hunte, I have his number, but he's not answering the phone.
Okay.
All right, but I'll keep trying him. Princess Stone, good morning.
Morning, gentlemen. I want to agree with Wendell there about the manner in which it was handled. But apart from that, that is not just a Alexis versus Mr. Manning thing, you know. I happen to kind of know one or two people in that executive. And that issue is not something that is now. That has been going on since the previous MP. I think the PNM need to look at themselves when they're selecting representatives, and they should try to stay away from family links. Allow the executives to choose people that they're comfortable with. Don't impose people on them, and that's part of the problem. And Mr. Manning has never been popular with that executive. And on top of that, if you know Mr. Manning and how active he was in his constituency, his son's personality is way below that level. And I think that is the main problem. So if they look at it from that way, it might be better rather than just going with the name Manning and feel, well, look, because he named Mr. Manning, he is worthy of being the MP. I think that's the real crux of the problem, you know. And his response sort of demonstrates that he's not up to the task. That is the long and short.
All right.
Okay, no problem.
You would know about his activities down south more than we do in town. But yeah, he is definitely a politician right now who anywhere close to what Patrick Manning used to be doing in San Fernando.
No, it have some leaders when you see they were so strong. I was telling people that, you know, and even their children who try to walk in their shoes. Well, you look at Michaela and it's a hard fit, you know. Hard fit. But when let's close up the poll.
Yeah, that man had that place so organized down in San Fernando as a constituency. Yeah? I went once. I remember going down once to San Fernando East office because at the time Darian and I wanted to see him, and he said, "Come down there and you'll see." Right? And in every room, he has somebody dedicated to some problem. In this room, you go for housing. And this room, you go for employment. He had everything so structured down there. It was amazing to see. And if you see people, and he would not get up until everybody's attended. That Patrick Manning, I don't know anybody could replicate how he operated as a MP, as a political leader, and as a prime minister.
Right. And then let's close off the poll. I'm still trying to get rid of Mr. Le Hunte.
Let me come out and comments. All right. Our poll today was, do you expect MP Brian Manning to close the floor? 12% of you said yes. 88% of you said no. I will go with 88% also this morning. I don't expect.
Of course you will. Of course you will. You wouldn't want to see that happen at all.
I go with the 88% Wendell. No mind Richard. I am all going with the 88% Richard Wendell. Don't mind Richard.
Very cheeky.
Yeah, that is the result of the morning poll.
I don't know how he just timed the bacchanal. He just timed it.
You guys are bacchanal. Caller, good morning.
Good morning. You hear me?
Yes, we are, caller. Go ahead.
Okay. With respect to the last caller, some of the things that he said may be correct, but the fact is, in most of the constituencies, the constituency executive feel they own the constituency. And they don't allow the average person sometimes to meet the MP. They dictate who has to go to the bear, and that is part of PNM's problem. I've been complaining about it for years. I don't need anything particular, but I've seen people gone and they can't talk to nobody because the secretary said that is not an important issue, and this one wants to handle it, and this one wants to handle it. And that is part of PNM's problem.
Hold on, caller. You're saying that is part of PNM problem, but where did you experience that? Because you can't pay. If you experience that in a constituency,
the Elaborate constituency, and the Elaborate constituency was one of them. Point 14 constituency had the same problem, and a number of constituencies have the same problem. They don't ever get to speak to the MP. The people in the office feel that them is the MP and feel that them must run the show.
Preach!
You can take a poll on that one and see the answer. That's what has happened. And that's why, guys, that is the downfall of, that is what is causing the problem in PNM as it stands now.
Well, you're making a point. You're making a point. I hope they're listening.
When I was in Maloney, I was staying in Maloney a while. I tried to make an appointment to see Camille Robinson Regis. 4 weeks. I've never got to see her until I just give up because the people in the office controlling who could talk to the MP or not. And PNM needs to change that nonsense as compared to people like Mr. Manning and even Mr. Hedges Barrow. Barrow used to sit down and see every single person and then dictate the issues to where it has to go. But the people in the office feel that they must control what is going on and who could, because they don't want them to get close to the MP and tell the MP this. I really have a problem with it.
Okay, caller.
And
Thanks much.
You know, amazingly, Suraj Rambachan, Dr. Rambachan, wrote an article not too long ago saying how long he's trying to see his MP too. His MP is I think the Tabatik MP. You know, so it's not uncommon that these things happen in other constituencies where people can't get to see the MP, but they need to fix it. I hope they listen to that politics. They need to fix it. You take a job, you take a responsibility as an MP, you have to serve the people, find a way to do it. See people. Don't let them see you under. I remember MP had a thing last time. And he advertising, the MP advertising, come and see the MP under the MP's tent. I called them one time, I said, what kind of craziness is that? I said, oh, they advertising that the people that come and find the MP under the MP tent? I said, what nonsense are they talking? The MP had to walk around and find and go to the people. Why still people come to see the MP under the MP tent? I let them have it. But that's why they don't like me for that. But I'm happy for that caller. But it is a problem with a lot of MPs. Even councillors. Nobody can see them. They don't walk the area.
All right, hold on right there, Wendell. Stick up in. Caller, good morning.
Good morning, Sir Charles. Good morning, Wendell.
Morning, Zena.
Wherever you are. Morning to all locked on. Listen to me. The long and short of it, Wendell said it earlier. We have a weak leader, right? She is an occasion lady. You go here, you open the town hall, you jump in pan and powder, you do this, you go here, you meet, you go in the market, you hug up people and kiss them and listen. Kizelle Jackson right now is my leader. According to she. I've tell her a long time my PNM blanket. That's still in the bottom of the dirty clothes basket. It must be rotten by now. Because I don't know what the hell is going on. I say already, she doesn't leave things. She's not on top of things. And you have that undercurrent going on there for a while. And I feel from how you see the others talking and feeling they could talk down to Mr. Manning like he's a little boy and you don't want things to come in the public, well, only deal with the issue. And he's not the first one to run to the press and the public with any story. You understand? She did run to it when she did go in there to bowl out Stuart Young. And she did bring them in the office in the Balizé house there to see how many signatures she get and all that. And they bring them in a meeting in the executive when all that was going on. So what happened? They don't like the till and then to go out in public now. Deal with it. Deal with it. But that is a clique. It's a clique of them there, you know. And until that they break up that clique that you see trying to run the PNM there, this is not going to stop. And let me tell you, I have been talking to people. I have been talking, but like my party group is dormant. And let me tell you, you know why? A lot of them say they ain't going to vote if she there. And they keep saying it. You're trying to convince them otherwise, but I because of the sake of the party, but in truth and in fact, they're going to get a hard fall come 2030. Let us stay there and see if she unbolden about our next prime minister. We don't have no leader.
Ooh.
All right.
Okay, no
Feel the
problem.
pain. I hear the
Of course,
pain. I hear the pain in your voice. I hear the pain.
we have a leader. There is a leader. Zena. You may not be satisfied with the leader. And Lord knows, as I tell people, well, we always tell people a day in this politics is a long time. A lot could change. We don't elect people based on their leadership. We vote out government. If we were electing people based on their leadership, we would not have changed the government the other day, but our government was changed. Regardless of how unpopular Kamala Prasad was, how he lost so much election, how this and that and the other. The people voted out of government, they didn't look on to see who they were getting again. They needed to get rid of who they have. That is what we do.
No, Wendell. Leadership is important. And part of why the PNM lost, some will say, is because of their leadership.
You're
So
missing the point.
leadership is always important.
Richard, I'm speaking about when you're in government. When you're in government, leadership is not so much important when you're already in government. Not so? You're
Say
done in
that again?
government? I said, when you're
No,
in government, people
that's
don't
when
look at
leadership is even more important, Wendell, because
not
the decisions you made as a leader affect. And
right.
some of the decisions that Dr. Rowley made obviously antagonized PNM supporters.
Well, they vote out government. Because if we were voting,
And they
if we
vote out
were,
governments on the basis of leadership. Leadership always matters. When Patrick Manning lost, it was leadership.
Yeah, it was. Nothing short of that. Caller, good morning to you.
Morning. Tall man here. Morning, Wendell. Morning.
Morning, tall man.
First of all, the PNM MPs, don't they have Thursdays that designated towards senior public presently? I think so. So anyone want to see their MP, they could see them on Thursdays. As far as I know.
you mean right? Go to the MP office, that's all, man. You need to fix that. Not see the MP. You mean go to the MP's office.
Go to the MP's office?
Yeah. That's the day for office day. To go. Some MPs don't see people. That's what the callers said earlier on, and I agree with them. Some MPs don't see people because the secretary in the office don't want them to. Because Dean Allen said it. That one does make too much noise. That one always here for this. Pluck them, stop them. That happens in MPs' offices, It's not just PNM MPs that happen to it.
I am in Lavantilis Mova here, and I'm on the executive, and I know the MPs generally have, whoever came into Lavantilis Mova have their office there on Thursday, and the public is able to see them. Anyhow, I'm with organizations. I've been a member of many organizations throughout my life, and one thing I love about the PNM organization, they have a constitution now. If the current leader goes against the constitution and do what people want, and on the flip side, the same people will come and say she went against the constitution and the organization. But if she allows the process to play out according to the constitution, they are saying she weak. Right? So the safeguard is allow the process to play out, allow the General Council or whatever mechanism they have to control disputes in the organization to continue. Now, unlike the UNC, they say party first, not country. And they are good with that, and they are willing with that. But that is their philosophy. That is how the organization runs. You pay homage to the party first, not the country. That is what was said on the political platform. I'm not making up my own words. So I'm saying that may work for them, but that it doesn't work for the PNM. You have to subscribe yourself to the constitution of the PNM, despite whatever dispute it may have. It have a constitution to to go back to, because if they don't follow the constitution, on the flip side, Wendell, people, the naysayers will come back and say, hey, they will use the constitution as a barometer and say, or they have not followed the constitution. Look, the political leader or whoever is in authority is in breach of the constitution. So it's damn if you win, damn if you don't.
But I hear you on that, and I don't disagree with you on that, Let the constitution take precedent and follow the constitution. But there are some things that have the potential to escalate, and that's where you step in and say, listen, this has to end. We're not going through this ain't going through no meeting, because, and that's why I said there's a bigger picture at play in this whole scenario. There's a bigger picture at play, and I want to ask people direct questions. I want to ask Mr. Manning, is it that you have leadership aspirations? Nobody has asked him that. Nobody has asked anybody else if they have leadership aspirations. Ask them that directly. The media asked all kind of things yesterday. I listened to this thing. I said, but we're asking. What are you asking?
Yeah.
But Wendell, once you're in politics at that level, you have leadership aspirations. Nobody who is in that, being a minister or junior minister, doesn't in the back of their mind say, boy, I wish I could lead the party. Of course you're going to have those aspirations. That's what you're doing there.
Well, Richard, but the media, I will ask the person, won't you ask them that?
You may ask them, but the diplomatic answer, which is what they'll order give, is they'll say the PNM already has a leader. That's what they will say.
Let them say that.
That's what they will say.
Let them say that.
But that's what they will say.
And my next question is, but are you aspiring still to be here if you found the leadership to be wanted or to be weak? Won't you want
they wouldn't go down that road. They will just say, we may all have our personal goals and aspirations, but the PNM already has a leader.
Yeah. Wendell, you ain't doing that.
I really need to start going to some of these press conferences. When I listened to that media yesterday, I said, but what craziness they're asking?
Yeah, but if you are like a junior minister or a minister under your leader at that point in time, you ain't doing that and making that kind of statement. Yeah. You think Dr. Rudal Munilal or anyone of them at this point in time will make that statement with Kamala Prasad?
I'm throwing my hat in the ring. Richard, I'm throwing your hat in the ring too. I'm doing it for both of us.
I'm hot, I don't wear hats.
Richard for mayor for the sphere and Wendell for mayor Marina. I want the easier one.
Hold on right there. Caller, good morning. Go ahead.
Hey, morning, gentlemen. Front and center again. Hey, you did see that caller who called before the last guy there? You're still right. You hit the nail on the head there, right? When it's one thing you have to say about Patrick Augustus moving Manning and Maurice Marshall, the late Maurice Marshall, those were MPs elected to represent the people, and they always made themselves accessible regardless of who you are. This current lot we have, some of them in the UNC, but especially those in the PNM, right? They have these little political, whatever you want to call them, right? Who go to power play, who decide who city minister and who don't city minister and all that kind of nonsense, right? And so there is one thing I remember, even when Patrick Manning was just a representative in the PNM, I see him ride the bus several times from Port of Spain to San Fernando with briefcase in hand, okay? And he was a real people's person. He was a real representative, right? And we don't have much of them left again out here. And by the way, as far as sleeper cells are concerned, you were confused when I said Brian Manning crossing the floor. He could be a sleeper cell like Gypsy and Ralph Maraj. One day you're UNC, next day you're PNM, and then you're back UNC and vice versa, right? He'll be privy to too much going on in the insides there. He's damaged goods right now, and I don't think the UNC will have him over unless it's just for a political stunt. But I think that crossing the floor, I don't think that will ever happen. It's in his DNA, and if he does cross the floor, Brian Manning is first and foremost for Brian Manning, and he proved it just the way how his political history, right, with what his father was, you know, and is still his legacy and what he has done in his political journey. He's damaged goods. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, I disagree because I think
I can't call him damaged.
if he does decide to cross the ford, trust me, somebody's scooping him up one time.
Of course they are.
But Sir Charles, of course, you see, the PNM has been the recipient of plenty UNC people, and they immediately zoom past people like Wendell. They zoom past faster than the speed of light. Faster than the speed of light. All of a sudden, they are senator. Tell me if I'm lying, Wendell.
No, you're not lying, sir.
Or sitting in the front row.
And you ain't seen or hearing from none of them these days.
Yeah.
Not one of them coming to the defense of the
people
PNM.
who work hard, battling in the dry times, in whatever times with the PNM, they standing by the PNM because the PNM, you know, they're the PNM forever. Let somebody who is a UNC say, I go in and with the PNM. All of a sudden, they zoom and pass all that work you do, you know.
But look, the same thing happening in the UNC. Look who's attorney general.
Yes. both parties have that ilk. Oh, you were with them. Oh, that gives you credentials, and all of a sudden you're a minister, or you're this, you're that.
Imagine 10 years representing the UNC fighting for them as an attorney, and hoping one day that I will become the attorney general. And just so bam, you bring a whole PNM attorney.
But Wendell, count on your hand. Count on your hand, Wendell. How many people who are currently in this UNC administration who had roots in the PNM?
Yeah.
There's several.
Yeah, you're right.
All right, guys, so here what? We're going for the news at 8 o'clock and come back. Stay with us when we come back.
Wait. Where Robert Le Hunte?
It was a no-show.
Oh, he set you up again, Wendell? He set you up again because it's not the first time he set you up.
No,
this is not the first time.
This is not the first time.
Oh, my word.
You must wake up late again, I know. I know what part of the world he is, but you must wake up. Last time he had to wake up.
Oh, come on, Robert Le Hunte. If you are listening, it is now ridiculous. So continue to write whatever columns and your opinions are in the papers, but who better come and no talk show again.
Not just vexing, blasted
because this is not the first time. This is about the third or fourth time that he's done this.
Yeah, I know for sure it's the second. I know for sure I remember this is 2 times that he has done it.
No, it is not 2 times. It is more than 2 times.
I think it's the second time.
It is not more. No, it is more than 2 times. I asked you earlier. It's more than 2 times.
And you have people.
And you don't have the and you do not have the. Wait, let me finish. I finish with Robert Le Hunte. You don't have the professional courtesy, Robert, to send a message and say, guys, I can't make it this morning. And then you want to be a credible voice?
Yeah.
Come on.
Well, maybe the executive has told him I'm not doing any more interviews after yesterday.
Fine, and that's fine. Then send a message saying, guys, I wouldn't be able to talk this morning.
Yeah, we can do that. All right, guys, we can go through the news now, Richard.
Yeah. Do I have anything else you want, yes?
The news you need, the clarity you deserve. Local, regional, global. This is Net Radio News Now.
This is News Now on Net Radio and Guile TV. I am Derek McMillan. Thank you for joining us. The internal dispute within the People's National Movement over the San Fernando East constituency has intensified, with the PNM National Women's League publicly rebuking MP Brian Manning. The league said it was concerned about Manning's recent public statements questioning the integrity of the process to select a new constituency executive. Manning had raised what he described as potential conflicts of interest involving members of the party's national structures, questioning whether anyone should recuse themselves. However, the Women's League said Manning has the right to raise concerns, but should do so through the party's established internal mechanisms. The League said the process to address his concerns is already underway, and accused Manning of continuing to air the dispute publicly, potentially weakening party structures and creating further division. It is calling on Manning to step back from the public confrontation and allow the PNM's internal process to run its course. Patients are raising concerns about shortages of some medications in Trinidad and Tobago's public health system, including drugs used to treat cancer, diabetes, and heart conditions. Patients at St. James Medical Complex and other public facilities say they have been told certain medications are unavailable and have had to travel to different dispensaries to fill prescriptions. Breast cancer patients reported difficulties accessing Faslodex, while some diabetics said Jardiance has also been in short supply. Patients say buying the drugs privately can be expensive, with one reporting Jardiance costing up to $22 per tablet. A healthcare worker blamed lengthy procurement times and said the drug acquisition process needs to be reviewed to prevent shortages of commonly used medications. Attempts to get a response from Health Minister Dr. Lakram Bodo and the North Central Regional Health Authority were unsuccessful. The National Trade Union Center, NETT, is calling on the government to reconsider its decision not to consult the Steelworkers Union over plans to reopen the former ArcelorMittal steel plant at Point Lisas. NETT supports the investment by Pinnacle Steel and Vanadium Corporation and its local subsidiary Ibis Steel, saying the project could create jobs and boost the economy. However, General Secretary Michael Aniset says the reopening must include meaningful consultation with organized labor. NATUC says more than 45% of the 2,000 workers affected by the plant's 2016 closure have expressed interest in returning, although the union is not demanding automatic reemployment. It is also calling for greater transparency over outstanding payments to former workers and stronger protections during corporate insolvencies. With the plant having been idle for a decade, NATUC is also stressing strict safety measures before operations resume. The group wants government, investors, and labor to engage in tripartite talks. In crime news, police have shot and killed a man identified as Ricardo following a confrontation in Mayaro. Police say officers responding to a report of an intruder at Tucker Energy Services found the man nearby, armed with a cutlass. He allegedly resisted arrest and chopped one officer on the hand. Police say the officer then opened fire, killing him. The man was also allegedly found with an iguana during the closed hunting season. 3 officers were treated for minor injuries. Meanwhile, a female prison officer with more than 19 years' service was arrested at Golden Grove Prison after allegedly being found with prohibited items during a routine security check. She was taken to the Aruca police station and is assisting with investigations. And in Wallerfield, 49-year-old Kumar Balkasoon was shot dead at his home. Police recovered 3 spent 9mm shells. His killing brings the murder toll to 237 for the year. In regional news, Barbados Prime Minister Mia Mottley arrived in Venezuela on Monday for talks with acting President Delcy Rodriguez, as both countries look to strengthen bilateral relations. Mottley said the discussions are focused on energy and food security, while creating opportunities for Barbadian farmers, fishers, and businesses. She also pointed to plans for stronger tourism and trade links, easier movement of goods, and opportunities for Barbadians through scholarships, language training, and cultural exchanges. Mottley highlighted Barbados' support for Venezuela, following the devastating earthquakes in June, when the island sent rescue workers, medical teams, humanitarian supplies, and a field hospital. Rodriguez visited Barbados in April, where the 2 leaders discussed cooperation in energy and food security. Mottley says the relationship must ultimately deliver greater opportunities and security for Barbadian families. Finally, Caribbean immigration advocates in New York are welcoming a U.S. court ruling that struck down the Trump administration's suspension of immigrant visa processing for nationals of 75 countries, including 12 Caribbean nations. U.S. District Judge Jeanette Vargas ruled that the policy was unlawful and exceeded the authority of Secretary of State Marco Rubio. The policy, introduced in January, paused immigrant visa issuance to nationals of countries including Jamaica, Barbados, Haiti, Trinidad's Caribbean neighbors, and several other Caribbean states. The New York Immigration Coalition said the ruling restores a case-by-case immigration process instead of decisions being based on nationality. The organization's president, Murad Awade, called the decision a victory for fairness and families separated by the policy. The ruling does not affect tourist visas, which are classified as non-immigrant visas. And that is Net Radio News at this time.
That was News Now. Stay informed with New Era TT Radio, Net Radio.
If you feel you can sing or just feel like hanging out with your friends, well then, the Big Bear Bar, Johnson Street and Southern Main Road Enterprise presents their Karaoke Saturdays each and every Saturday. Come and enjoy the fun. Bring your crew. It's live DJ music and sweet karaoke every Saturday. And this Saturday, Net Radio will be there to bring you the action live from 8 p.m. with DJ Jeremiah, Mr. Lover Lover. Come and enjoy the time of your life at the Big Bear Bar, Karaoke Saturdays, Johnson Street and Southern Main Road Enterprise, opposite Tropical Angel Hub Spaniard. And remember, Net Radio will be there live.
Advertise with us on New Era TT Radio, the fastest growing streaming platform for talk in Trinidad and Tobago. Audio and video ads welcome. Elevate your brand with us. Connect with us at newerattradio@yahoo.com or call us at 299-5156. Now what are you waiting for?
What do we all want for Trinidad and Tobago? Safer communities, greater opportunities, and a better future. Join Denise Deming every Tuesday at 11 a.m. on NETT Radio for Common Ground TNT. Each week, respected guests tackle the issues affecting our nation, from crime and education to healthcare, the economy, and good governance. Common Ground TNT, finding solutions through conversation. Tuesdays at 11 a.m. on NETT Radio, Net Radio.
S&H Rumbox, 137 Western Main Road, St. James, for all your retail and wholesale needs for alcohol and non-alcoholic beverages. Call us at 686-0599 or visit us at 137 Western Main Road, St. James. S&H Rumbox, drinking out of the box.
Join me, Brother David Muhammad, every Tuesday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. here on New Era TT Radio, Net Radio, Powerful Radio. Join me to hear knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Tuesdays, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. here on New Era TT Radio, Net Radio.
Anybody there?
Yes, I'm here.
All right. Bodyguard. RJ. Is RJ right? No. What am I saying?
It's Peter in the studio.
Peter, wait.
Come on.
Leadership by the gate. Body Peter. Of course, Sir Charles had to step away, and Peter is with us. So we go straight back. Let me see if I could get some of these comments on the chat to read just a bit for you all. Of course, Lester, I have to apologize to you all this morning because I'm the one normally on camera. But because of the situation with my internet, I have to be using data, so I have to be using my phone. So my apologies for us not being on camera this morning. So Charles has never been on camera since the program started. Of course, you know that. And Richard, of course, would be on camera from time to time. But he'll be off camera from time to time when he is in his vehicle, which he can't have his camera on, right? Because of his commitments, right? So I'm apologizing on behalf of the breakfast show this morning for you all not actually having anyone on camera. Well, you had Richard briefly and you had me briefly, but because of the situation with my phone, right? So I hope you understand, but it won't. We've tried to avoid that happening in the future, right? So that was just responding to something on the chat. Right, of course, lots of people chatting. Carlisle Cupid, the Reformists, Cheryl Henry, Michael Samuel, and quite a lot of people chatting this morning about various issues and about the topics. Right, I am still of the opinion that the leader should have stepped in and how I should put it, put a stop to this situation that has happened in San Fernando. The entire executive has resigned. Of course, all executives go out of office in a very short period because party groups are having elections. So very soon they're going to have constituency elections also. And all the executives will be out of office and either re-voted into office or new people will come. Right? In San Fernando East, you might be surprised. It might be the very same people voting back and forth. Right? Time will tell. Right? So, I can't answer that question, Carlisle Cupid. Carlisle Cupid is asking, Wendell, can you say whether Mr. Young will have an opportunity to offer himself for the leadership of the PNM before the next general election based on the Constitution? There is to be a leadership election just before the next general election. And anyone, not just Mr. Young, anyone could offer themselves as the leader of the party. Right? So not just Mr. Young, anybody can offer themselves. Right? Let me see what else I have to address in this chat. Cheryl Henry, yes, the female prison officer threw away all her years' service for a few dollars. 19 years service, and this is the first female officer, prisons officer, that has been held in a situation like this, as far as my knowledge is concerned, right? This is the first reported female officer who has been held in a situation like this.
She has been convicted?
No. Well, who has been, held, charged? No, she has not been convicted, so we don't know. You're talking about the comment that I read?
No, my lady is saying that she's lost all her benefits.
No, I didn't say that. I was reading a comment. Somebody made a comment like that. She threw away all her years of service for a few dollars more. That was a comment that I was reading.
But that comment is inaccurate. It's alleged, it's an allegation, and she's innocent until proven guilty.
Very true. All right. What else is there to address on the chat? Nothing else. So I guess we could take calls unless Richard has something he wants to raise with us. All right.
No, I don't have anything specifically, no. I can turn on my camera. Oh my God. Maybe I should turn it off. I look terrible. Okay, I think I need a little bit more lighting just now.
All right, well, we are opening the lines to calls 281-1315 or 299-5156. And we do have a caller on the line. Caller, good morning.
Good morning, is Peter take over there?
Yes, indeed.
Good morning. CJ?
I'm good.
All right. Listen, I want to say something again.
Go ahead now.
Stallman, I understand your position. That is your MP, and I know how you feeling. But you see, old stalwart like myself, I go just as I say, when I open my mouth, I just talk the truth. And I don't want to, I don't really want to hear no dirty living in public, because I could do it, but I won't do that. I am calling on the clique in the PNM to cut out their BS. They know what's going on here. And people who long in the party and in the party, we still know what's going on, we know what's going on. So don't come to try to belittle Mr. Manning and people who feel as though working on the father's name. I don't think so. People in that San Fernando there, remember I listened to Brian Manning go there. He said he probably knew some of the things that was going on. He said the people in the party groups is who talking to him and begging him to do something that they are annoyed. So it's not he just pick up himself and cause it. No, they came to him with their problems. And I know how it is, when some of them feel they headstrong in a party group or leading a constituency, they feel whatever them say goes. But there is the MP, the people who represent in the constituency, that has to take charge. And that is what he's been trying to do. And I'm very glad with Mrs. Manning. You come forward and keep that your husband's name and his legacy in place. Don't let it reach that point where the whole thing crumble and they lose that other seat in San Fernando. So I don't care what anybody say, and they could call she old. She older than Kamala Prasad Bissessa. And PNM, what the caller a few calls ago said about senior MP, he ain't lying, He not lying. Because somebody like me who work hard in this party and who go down to that office to see my MP, may get to see me yet because the woman who did that I never see work around this area. I see a woman there that say, put down your name, imagine. And up to now, I get a call. So the call ain't lie. And
Who's your MP,
this morning, and they better don't let me get vexed because real thing go wash out in public. So they better get their act together, or get all their act together, and that is the downfall of the PNM. And we keep saying it all the time, and they promising us time and again, oh, that will change, that will change. They'll meet the people. Don't want to meet the people when it's a month or two before election.
Zena,
Talk to people, hold regular cottage meetings, and let people hear what is bothering them. But all they
Zena,
have in the air.
Zena, I want you to know that this is a safe space, so you can feel free to wash whatever linen you need to wash. This is a safe space. Go ahead.
No, there are certain things I would not say. But what some calls away said is true. And they keep promising us that won't happen again. That won't happen again. I sure if you walk in Stuart Young's district, you will hear a different story. It has certain MPs that will always be there. You hear what Stallman say? Stallman, your MP must be one. But don't call her them this way.
Zina?
You understand? Yes.
Could you care to identify the MP that you said you can't see?
I'm not hearing you.
We're not hearing what you're saying, Wendell.
Hey, why? Zina, are you hearing me?
No, we hearing you. Yeah.
All right. Do you care to say who is the MP that you cannot see?
You see, let's don't go there.
We can go here. We can go there, Zina. We can go there. It is a safe space. Yeah, we can go there. We can go there.
My voice, and they know what I'm saying is true.
Zina, you are in a safe space, my dear. You are protected.
I'm protected. No, don't try that on me. That's all right. I know what I'm saying, and all of them, the majority, check all yourself. And you see, they stop this. To me, this favoritism thing was going on, or let's stop it. And as
Zina,
meeting, do
Yeah.
not try to belittle the MP. He called, he talk. Nobody take on according to what he said. He wrote nothing. He had to write again and then all they coming out to talk to him. When it reached the public, you come in to try to chastise him to say, don't carry things in public and don't air it. Well, that is where all they let it reach because they want to push things under the carpet and don't deal with it and don't iron out the issues or the feel like they go just put all they want and whoever there in his area that have aspirations of bowling him out, all of us you want that. So go ahead. You see the UNCMP done jump in already and talk. When he talk, they're going to further antagonize the supporters of that Mr. Manning who was showing Mr. Manning and how he built his reputation down there. They go further antagonize them. Let them go ahead and feel like
Antagonize him to what degree? Because he has already spoken.
go ahead. All they heard Mr. Ford yesterday, no. And all they heard me from day one said it. When all they bring the opposition leader there. And I spoke my mind and I told Mr. Le Hunte as well. And I talk what I had to talk. And all they feel that I make a joke too long in this
Yeah,
party.
but you're calling everybody name except your MP.
Pardon me?
You're calling everybody else name except who's your MP.
Well, what I had to do with you? I calling all who guilty. I said they know themselves.
Does your MP carry initials of a very popular motor car that's now driving all over the roads in Trinidad?
What?
You want me to answer it like Mr. Ford yesterday? That's not no joke now.
Does your MP drive an MG?
That clique they have inside it, I call them a clique. And telling me about General Council. Let them get an act together. All right, good.
All right, take care. What Brian Manning will learn about the power of constituencies executives. That is what he's going to learn. That same constituency executive, right, came to his aid, at one time. That's how he became the MP, because the last MP, they fell out with him. He never got along with them. And that's how Brian Manning became the MP up there, because of that same constituency executive. They make him, and trust me, they are going to break him. That's the nature of politics. The UNC, some MPs in the UNC, where you feel they do, they switch them around because the executive didn't want them. The people who they represented didn't want them. They end up getting rid of some and they switch around the others. Not so. The 5 dissidents, what do you do with them? What do you do with them? Well, you don't forget politics. Politics is brutal, brutal, no matter how good an MP Anita Haynes was, and what the man in my name, Russian Parry, was. The same executive said, no, you got to go. You went against all that, you got to go. That is how politics is. Don't be surprised. It happens in both parties. David Lee was the MP for Point of View. They said they don't want him. They put him somewhere else. Not so? Yeah? All you forget to know what? I don't forget to know. In PNM, they don't shift you around, really. Ask Nan Gadsby Dolly how much seat she screened for back when she became an MP. Ask Gary Hunt, who became the MP for Port of Spain North, how much seat he screened for back then. Eh? 4 and 5 seats they were jumping out to try to get an executive to support them. I don't forget them thing,
Of course, we are still taking calls 281-1315 and 299-5156. We do have a call on the line. Caller, good morning.
A blessed good morning again, gentlemen. Well said, Mr. Wendell. Well said. Come to the head of the class. Are we talking about? Let them know what time it is. Let them know what's going on. And to Mr. Le Hunte, it's not surprising. Right now, the kitchen real hot. It's steamy. The man's sweating right now. We can't come out. If we come out now and talk something, we might catch our cold. But anyway, gentlemen, as usual, great program. And always remember this, Trinidad and Tobago, NETT Radio. Great is the NETT Radio. They shall prevail. And they prevailing all now. Blessed day, gentlemen.
All right, take care.
I feel like you're cursing us there.
Right, because she said bless.
When they're using somebody else's mantra.
We will remember. That is what NETT Radio uses. What to use. We will remember. We don't forget. That is that we could use the opposite of that. We don't forget. Because we could give all the history here, like all they never get before. They won't get on any other show. Trust me. Politics, politicians, making jokes. Watch and see what's going to happen when 2030 comes. In both parties. Watch and see what's going to happen.
We do have another call on the line.
So toxic.
Of course, we do have another caller on the line. Caller, good morning.
Hi, Wendell, good morning, and Richard, good morning.
Morning.
So, I want to find out something. I heard that in the news yesterday, but I'm not sure if that is true. Did the executive of the San Fernando East, the rest of the executive, I should say, resign in June? Is that so?
You heard it in the news this morning. We spoke about it.
Right. Well, I didn't hear the program this morning. I just got in. So, okay, so they did, right? So, why is it that every time this opposition leader has to make a decision on critical matters, she always like snailing around? You see, when that General Bates matter came up, it's because of her lack of decisiveness. It went on for so long, and she still didn't have to make a decision because the Senate made a decision for her. So she just like to wash her hand off of things. If according to what Mr. Manning said, he sent a letter to them, to the General Secretary, and that one that I heard that went to the General Council, and they didn't acknowledge himself. Well, he was right to go public because this is a democracy, and you live in a democratic country. When it's UNC and all this put-through going on, everybody got it, But when it's PNM, you don't want to wash your dirty clothes and things. And it's a democratic thing. Everybody should talk. What happened? That's why I could never be a part of any organization like this. Because if things wrong, you have to say it wrong. Right? So Marvin Gonzalez yesterday, for me, I didn't listen. I saw it on Facebook late last night. The few handful, like how much of them? The palm of your hand, 5 fingers, 5 of them were there, or 5 or 6 empty chairs. What you there? What he said and nothing was the same thing, because he already made up his mind what side this particular executive is taking. He cannot on one hand say that is misinformation and inaccuracies and so on, and he investigated it. Why didn't you tell Mr. Brian Manning that the investigation is taking place and give them a few weeks and see what turns out? But nothing, no acknowledgement, nothing. So what happened? He's a bubbly. He's the MP. And I don't know about the politics and this thing with constituency, but isn't the MP above the constituency? I don't know. All they tell me.
Constituencies are headed by their chairman. The MP is alongside the chairman, but the chairman of the constituency is the head of the constituency.
Right.
And if an MP not getting along with his constituency, especially his constituency chairman, that is trouble.
Trouble, yeah. So if you can't get along, all the deal with it. Don't let all it. Don't watch things in public. It's against the PNM Constitution, blah, blah, blah. you want to sweep it under the carpet. If you're not acknowledging something, and not so much the executive, I blame the leader, Miss Penelope Peckers Robinson. Why wasn't she in the meeting yesterday? That is supposed to be an important meeting. Why wasn't she there? She had too many things to do. That is an important thing. So the more all they stray from it, and the more they don't want to answer, the more truth will come out in the public domain. And of course, UNC getting further. Oh God, they're feeding on it. All the UNC supporters, they're right, because PNM does the same thing with UNC. So it's tit for tat. You can't blame him. You have to blame the leader, not the leadership, because Marvin and all the others who talking, they can say nothing for me. I follow them, I follow the politics, but it's like nothing taking place with this particular executive of the PNM, especially that particular leader. And I was reading the chat this morning when somebody said, and that person is not a supporter, because he says that, he all kind of thing about PNM. He is saying what he like Penny, one Penny, because what? She's the first black woman to run the PNM. What does it do with anything? What about leadership qualities? What does have to do anything up here because of your black and the first female? What does it do with anything with woman? That's the problem with woman, Always not a woman at the head.
Oh God, don't be bashing woman. Don't be bashing woman. Don't bash woman. Let me do that. We could do that. You know it.
No, don't bring me into that, please. Don't bring me into that. You like company, You like company.
So what?
You want Peter to take that?
Me?
A woman does supposed to be correct. I'm not a man, but you don't do that because she's a woman trying to be the leader. Penny is not of leadership qualities, and by now she should know that. Even I have younger nieces who are part of the youth league. They are in the youth league since about 9-10 because their parents are into the politics. And not for nothing, they are attending anything because they say, once Penny there, they're not there. She not instilling no kind of quality for young people to follow. What is she doing? How many people she run already? It's not gaining. Anyway, I don't think I do vote. One good thing. I like to follow the party on both sides.
All right, but thank you for your very long discourse, because your discourse was very long.
Let me give you another example of the power of constituency.
I just want the people to be very clear, Wendell, that this entire half an hour is now sponsored by My Blanket is Missing with Zena. So all things PNM, well, let's say all the PNM looking drowsy and droopy. So My Blanket is Missing with Zena is this half hour. Thank you.
Let me see that again. I have to take off my chat to see it. Let me see. What is that? What you put up there? Let me tell all you something. Let me remind all you something about the power of constituency executives too, right? When the constituency executive wanted Dr. Lovell Francis to go back up in Maruga Tableland, a seat that we didn't have, we won, right? Dr. Lovell Francis was the MP from 2015 to 2020. The executive wanted him to go back up. The leadership decided they don't want him. For whatever reason, I don't know what happened. They never really come out with that story. But the leadership decided, the leadership of the PNM now, the party, decided they go in with Winston Gypsy Peters in Maruga. Because he from down there and he well known, he was a former MP and so on. The executive teach them a lesson. Because the people in the constituency withheld their vote from Winston Gypsy Peters and he lost. Okay, that is how Michelle Benjamin won that seat down there. May I remind you again about another decision? In Tobago, Tracy David, and all this coming from my memory, Tracy Davidson Celestin was not being supported by the Tobago people there, right? Tobago Council. But the leadership of the party say we're going with Tracy Davidson Celestin. What happened? We lost Tobago. We lost it. Okay? So executives, all you think that they soft, all you think that they weak, watch and see. Wait and see. All them MPs and them, let them play the field. Let them don't get along with the executive and they will find out the hard way. Go ahead.
So it is a safe space for all disgruntled PNM people. Feel free to call 281-1315, We are taking the lead with Zena. So all disgruntled PNM people, feel free to call in and we will listen.
Yes, this is PNM time to fix it. Fix it. We people that say, oh, they that PNM show and we don't discuss nothing about PNM. It's only bashing the government. Well, PNM
Who said
business.
that?
Yeah, people that say that in the chat, boy. They don't read the chat. I just read the chat, you know.
Yeah.
People that talk all that stupidness in the chat. You understand? That was idiot. Well, oh God, let me take that back. He's not idiot. He's idiotic. He's making idiotic comments. I don't know if he's an idiot, but he's making idiotic comments on a morning, every morning, that I don't read it. So you will never hear his comments coming out of my mouth. I will never read it.
But we're taking your calls to 811-1315 and 299-5156.
Indeed, we do have a caller on the line right now. Caller, good morning.
Hey, morning, fellas. Morning, everybody.
Morning.
Yeah, I just wanted to share a story on the well, I ain't a disgruntled PNM, but wanted to share a story on the National Scholarship Program. While we were in South Africa, we had a doctor friend from Trinidad, and she shared a story. We met the guy who was on the National Scholarship, and how she met him was that she thought he was an impoverished student, right, and tried to raise some bed and try to get things for him and everything. And when she realized that he was on a national scholarship and the prestige life that he was living, the privileged life he was living, he was almost on par with her as a doctor. And apartments, he had a car, food, everything, he was topper. And these full national scholarship, they live, and not a care, not a problem, and end up meeting him, and he had the option to come back home. He was considering if to come back home to do. I think he's eventually back here, but he was considering going elsewhere. So people in the room had to say, "What? What do you mean? No, you gotta go back home," and that is, that was some years ago, so I don't know if the standard has dropped, but national scholarship, full national scholarship, winners do they get a really good ride, plane tickets, everything count, everything. So it's a really good high standard. I even met, I know some of my friends who got partial scholarships, which allowed them to go through university, which they may not have been able to at certain institutions. Yeah, but full national scholarship, yeah, that's very top game. All right.
Yeah. Thanks, Dean. And you're so right, because regardless of where they shift them UNC people, regardless of whether the constituency want them or not, once they represent in the UNC, their support base is going to go out and vote for them. That is a fact. And I keep telling people that the UNC will not lose one single supporter from this. The independent people who may have gone to vote for them, the objective thinking who may have voted for them, will probably not vote for them. But their support base is going to remain intact. They will not lose a single vote. But the PNM don't understand that they are held to a higher standard. And it was so clear yesterday in that media conference, the amount of questions that I hear they ask in the PNM, they will never ask the UNC those things. You understand? Because the PNM is a 70-year-old party, and the MPs were saying it yesterday. This party is 70 years old. We are so and so. We will yes, but you have to understand you are held to a higher standard. And when you come to a press conference to berate an MP, it does not look good. It does not look good. Telling an MP in a press conference, he shouldn't do this, he shouldn't do that. There are forums in the party that you can do that. That is not to be done at a press conference. I'm very sorry. I was very disappointed in that press conference yesterday. I didn't realize that is what they're calling it for. Come on. If the MP has heard, you need to call him and tell him that. You don't call a press conference to tell him that. Oh, Lord. My dear. Let me do that.
I mean, I will have to disagree with you. I don't agree with you that the PNM is held to a higher standard in terms of media. I think media berates governments regardless. Hence, you have sometimes UNC saying, oh, boycott this newspaper, boycott that newspaper, this media house, and you hear them saying all sort of disparaging things about media houses. And then sometimes about reporters. And the same thing happens on the flip side. Media, when it's really independent, is fearful of neither. But politicians like to bully because they want media to be subservient to them because it's a messaging portal. So PNM doesn't get an easier go or a harder go. I think media goes after politicians when they're doing nonsense. And will expose stupidness and expose, if they have a bacchanal going on, of course the media are going to come because of a bacchanal.
Richard, the only person the media was ever afraid of in the PNM was the former leader, Dr. Rowley. And yet still, he used to make himself available to them all the time.
But I don't know. I think some reporters were intimidated by him. Some weren't. Some did not. They would go back. They would battle with him. And that's the responsibility of reporters. But to paint UNC as being more favored or PNM being more favored, I think is a disservice to the hardworking journalists in this country.
You see, you go to the parties. I dealing with the media.
You went party, you say how the PNM is held to a higher standard. So you're referencing that there is a different measuring stick with regard to reporters and the People's National Movement.
Right. So my focus was on the reporters, Richard. My focus is, and it's still on the reporters. It's still on the reporters. There are reporters who will not go and ask the UNC anything. They will not. They're not even demanding that the Prime Minister respond. You will barely hear anything. The Prime Minister, they have not held a cabinet press conference for so long, a postcard press conference. Are you seeing any editorials on that? Are you hearing anything?
There have been a couple of op-eds on that, but that's different. That is people who are doing columns. People who are reporters on the ground they don't necessarily have a forum to, except through Matt. They don't really have a forum to complain about that unless they have their own column. Otherwise, they're just reporters going to report when politicians are available. But there have been a couple of op-eds concerning that.
We're going to have to disagree. That's all right. That's all right. We'll have to disagree on that. How the media is treating how the media treats with the UNC and how they treat with the PNM. We'll have to disagree.
I think they have been as critical of both parties because both parties have a lot to criticize.
Of course, we are still taking calls. 2811-315, 299-5156. We do have a caller on the line. Caller, good morning.
Yes, I'm here again. Richard, well, I ain't getting into that part with the media. I agree with Wendell. At least he saw my point. That the who spoke to Mr. Manning from the party, the executive, had no right to talk to him as if he's a little boy telling tales. There was an issue and all. You try to feel all. You could have keep it quiet and shut him down. That is why it reached the media. And that is why, again, it goes back to leadership. It's weak. All you should have get hold of that very early and tie it up inside there and deal with it. But they know why they're doing it, you know. They want that to happen. But you know, must be for damn good. All you get all your act together. And Richard, I saw what you put up. And you got my response. But let me tell you, the blanket is not missing. I told you the way it is. Anybody could come in my house and go in the washroom, and I go show you the dirty clothes basket. I put it down under some dirty clothes, they deep. And every time I wash, I leave it right there. So it ain't missing. I tell all the way it is. And unless they get the act together, that ain't coming out and wash and hang out on the line. Right.
All right. Well, Richard found it. He look how neat it fold up there on a little table. He found it.
Richard, bring it out so it ain't missing. And Richard, right. I don't know what he was bringing that man to say. He didn't have to, where he said the time he was to talk, he walk out to the party, the post he had, and come back, he had a deal with he already on all his show. And as a matter of fact, going forward, take you off that screenshot all you have there for today. Face on it, I'm gone.
Imagine if she was running NETT Radio. Oh, yes. Richard, most of the comments, people are saying you are wrong concerning our argument just now, our disagreement just now. Right?
Yeah, well, that's fine.
Okay, as long as you accept that you're wrong.
No, that's fine. No, it's fine. But yeah, sometimes people are more intelligent and sometimes there are people who are the mob. I understand that.
Call us all here, Richard, call all your mob. Call all your mob.
You know, be afraid that. Be afraid that. I always call it how I see it.
No. The media gives UNC a lot of.
I disagree with you completely.
The
UNC has been under a lot of criticism from the media in this tenure. A lot.
Well, because they're doing a lot of things, Richard, that deserve criticism, regardless of how you.
Well,
you know
then
what I
mean?
They're doing a lot more. Akash.
But then that is not congruent with what you're saying. Because you're saying that the PNM always has held a higher standard. Has the PNM been there longer? Yes. So will the PNM have been the subject of media more? Yes, by the fact that they've been there longer. But that does not mean that they get a harder grind from the media than the UNC.
No. You're contradicting them. Because they've been there longer, because they're 70 years old, they are held to a higher standard. That's what I said.
No, I'm saying because they're there longer, there would have been more inquiry and more facing the media than other parties. But it does not mean on an equivalency that the media is harder on the PNM than they are on the UNC.
Okay.
And that equivalency or non-equivalency that you're suggesting, that for some reason that the media is easier on the UNC, I cannot accept. That's what I'm saying.
So Andreas proffered an opinion that I'll read. He said the media poses hard questions to both parties equally. The PNM simply answers more questions, while the UNC refuses to answer many questions. Maybe that's it.
Well, then I'm not too sure how to interpret that.
Well, you say the UNC don't answer questions. They don't like to answer questions.
It's no secret that the UNC is not available to the media as much as the PNM.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Because we have indicated that here on the show that ministers are very media shy. and so that they're not making themselves available. Very few of them are making themselves available to the media. Very few. I don't know if it's an insecurity issue. I don't know if it's a policy decision. I don't know if it is that if you're less years, you can't face, and it's only if you're senior you could. I don't know what is the trajectory, but it's blatantly obvious that the UNC is not as available in terms of media questioning as the previous administration. That's clear.
All right. Any more calls, Peter?
We do have one caller, yes.
Yeah, let's take this last call.
Hi,
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning, sir.
I must say that the situation with the PNM will eventually be resolved, and I do think it will shake the structures of the PNM in any significant way. Based on what is happening with the UNC, PNM will be able to recover and, if possible, get back in office at some point in time. These things happen even in the best regulated families. In terms of the media access and whatnot, I find when your PNM have a press conference and things, and let's say, forget the Brian Manning issue, when they deal with other issues that relate to government ministers and the policies of the government and whatnot and things, and they articulate the position and things, the media from the issue or asking questions pertaining to the issue that was raised by the PNM, and instead try to get opinions from the PNM in a form of bacchanal issues. They will ask the leader of the opposition why she didn't deal with the lady who made the mistake in terms of the thing with the ex-minister of health. They want to stick to the issues. The only person who asked the hard questions to the UNC was Akash Samuel. Until they turn on him, and then he decided, listen, I didn't know these people could have been so vicious and whatnot. And he just show off the air and thing. But in terms of accessibility and the ministers and thing, I don't think anybody would want to ask Edward Alexander a question. Neither. Nobody would want to ask the Minister of Homeland Security who say the reason why something is permanent is because it's called mobile. Who would want to interview it or ask him any questions? Have a good day, gentlemen.
Yeah. You ever hear a PNM minister answer a media person? Tell a media person that's insulting. You ever hear a PNM person tell a media person that? You ever hear a PNM person ask a media person, ask your mother? Never. Those words will never come out of a PNM person, a PNM minister. A PNM stoops at a media personality. That one went viral. A stoops, he didn't say nothing, he just stoops. That went viral. Oh God, they nearly crucify him for that. UNC, don't talk about media now and PNM and UNC. What's happening? And as that caller just said,
But Wendell, no, but if you're looking for equivalency, Patrick Manning rushed into a radio station because he didn't like what they said.
Yes, I remember that.
So politicians are sensitive.
Yes,
and do silliness when they're ready.
Patrick Manning did that, much to the chagrin of plenty of people, when he came to the station we worked in. Right in the studio next to where we worked. And because the young fellas in them had read a news item, and during the reading of the news item, they started to comment. He didn't like it, and he went to complain to management that is not proper, the proper way you do news. Of course, everybody's do that now. You understand? Everybody's do that now. Right?
Who's everybody? What are you talking about?
When I say, well, actually, actually, when you read the news, when you're actually a news reader, you don't make a comment during the news, which is what they did that day, which is what upset him. You understand? But people,
I'm not going into what upset him. I'm just showing how politicians react to media.
Yeah, no, Mr. Manning get raked over the coals for that, but at the time he was prime minister, of course, he gets
exactly. So in entering a media house as prime minister, your purpose is to intimidate.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm saying politicians on both sides of the aisles, they sometimes I think they probably wish there was no media.
Richard.
But the fourth estate is there to keep, and to all the politicians out there, to keep all here in line. Because y'all are not kings, y'all are not queens, y'all are not princes, and y'all are not princesses. Y'all may think you are, but you are not. You are elected by the people, for the people. And sometimes you lose sight of that because you become filled with hubris. The media is to remind you. That's what we're here for.
We will remember. And trust me, all these gaffes, all this thing about sit down and shut up and all these other things that happen in the public glare from these UNC ministers, they are going to be reminded about it when the time comes. All this blowing in paper bag and all this sort of nonsense, this other Minister of Homeland Security, they are going to be reminded of it when the time comes. Trust me. You understand? Trust me.
Well, they can't be reminded of nothing unless the PNM gets their act together.
No, the people, the media, I'm going to remind them when the time comes.
Media people do that, but to take advantage of it, it requires a political force. And if the PNM is in disarray, well, they seem to be in disarray now, and their messaging is off right now. If they wanted some advice, if they want advice, PNM, if you want advice, your messaging is off. There is no message.
Yeah.
So there is no message that people can direct and say, well, the PNM, for example, when the PNM has not even articulated a position on the return of in-person court.
True. Well, many things.
Iota of oomph has come from them, even though that's going to affect citizens along the length and breadth of this country. The only politician that I've seen the only politician that I saw that spoke about it is Kizelle Jackson. Kizelle Jackson is the only person that has addressed it.
And that's what I tell you, whatever is happening inside of the PNM, it is affecting their ability to come across as a cohesive force. That is what is happening. And yesterday, that press conference was a prime example of that. It was unnecessary to call a press conference to tell an MP that he is behaving in an indisciplined manner, right? And that arms of the party could be triggered to do that. It was such an unnecessary press conference. And even if they felt the need to do a press conference for that, then the chairman alone should have had that press conference. What you're bringing Coleman there to tell me about all what happened in the past and all who cross floor and all who this and that and be still here. What you bringing Dr. Amy Brown to read a riot act to MP for? What are you bringing them for? You're just exacerbating the situation. You're making it worse. That's
Maybe
what
I agree with you, Wendell. Let me say that. I agree with you. I don't think that a press conference should be for important things that that affects the opposition's point of view on national issues. Let me preface it by saying that. And that's not really a national issue. That's an internal issue.
Yeah.
So I want to agree with you that I don't know that there was any benefit to having a media conference about it. Because to me, if you're a strategist in the People's National Movement, and a political strategist has to be a strategist for the 5 years that you're not in power. Every single day matters. That's how I look at it. And if you're a political strategist in the PNM, you have to ask yourself, what's the benefit of us having a media conference to address this issue? Is this going to win us more votes? How is this going to look in terms of the projection of the party to the national audience? Because believe it or not, PNM, the national audience is made up of people who are not PNM and who couldn't care less. And so, unless it's something that's touching on their lives, they're not going to be interested. And if you're devoting that kind of media time to an issue, what is the outcome you expect of it? What is the value that you expect as a political party for doing that? And if there is no value, then don't do it.
Yeah. Yeah. It didn't make sense to me. Maybe other people see it differently, but that press conference
I
didn't
don't know
make
what
sense.
value they got from it. And in fact, it raised more issues like what we're discussing now. And in addition, the glaring absence of the leader became an issue. So that's why I'm saying it's almost like in law, there's always say, be careful of the questions you ask. Always know what answer you want to get from somebody you're questioning. Because if you're just asking a question without knowing what the answer is that you want, you might get an answer that you did not expect that could throw your case off, right?
Yeah.
So that's why they'll confine. Just answer yes or no. Say yes or no. Or don't go into an explanation because they want to channel you down, right?
Yeah.
By holding that press conference, they raised another issue. The leadership question also came back into view. It may not have been their intention, but it became a talking point.
Yes.
Where is the leader?
Where is the leader? Yes.
So to me, it's like a bumbling PR strategy at best, if you want to call it that. If it's a PNM public relations strategy, at best it's bumbling. And you are who people are looking to as being a viable option to the current administration. So, I mean, you have a few years left, but
yeah, it was unnecessary. But say what? Anyway, folks, you believe the modem is now coming back on, Richard?
After all that time?
After all that time, it is now starting to light up.
What the hell?
Say what? That is flow. That is flow for you.
Yeah.
Folks, have a wonderful day. Remember to let go and let God. Don't forget you can continue to contribute to Net Radio so that we can be here to bring you the best show on you anywhere in the universe.
And guess the turn-up. You forget that part, Wendell.
We're going to get somebody to talk about our financial situation. I don't know if Minister Swarat Singh is listening to us still, but we would love to speak with you too concerning in your capacity as Minister in the Office of the Ministry of Finance, to talk about that article that came out over the weekend, right? Concerning our future. Yeah?
All right, so just remember that netradiott.com continues on the web, so you can tune into the excellent programming there. You can also listen on your smart devices by saying whatever your device name is. Play NETT Radio Trinidad on TuneIn, and you'll be good to go. That's NETT Radio Trinidad on TuneIn, and you'll be good to go for the rest of the day in terms of listening to the excellent programming. And once you do it once, that's all it needs. It will kind of understand what you say after that. So have a fantastic day, people. Remember to smile and laugh. It's great for your health. It's Tuesday morning. I thought schools were opening on Tuesday next week, but apparently it's opening on the 7th of September. So you have a reprieve of an extra week. Apparently the Ministry of Education shifted it. It was supposed to open, but because Independence is on Monday, they shifted it down a week. So schools are opening on the 7th of September. So if you were scrambling for your book list, you have an extra week. That whole book list story, that aggravates me. I don't know why it is that politicians don't be as aggravated as I am with them. I do not understand it. I don't understand it. But anyway, whatever.
Dr. Dowlett might surprise you. You never know.
Well, hopefully, so that children don't have to be scrambling. All parents should be dealing with is book supplies. You have your pen, you have your paper, you have your ruler, you have your compass, whatever it is that you need. That's all they should be concentrating on. They should not be dealing with books and having to rush here. We don't have no more, they sell out. Oh, but you can check so and so. And what?
Yeah, but
in
Richard,
2026, come on.
Richard, I'll tell you something quickly. I saw a stationary book list from appearing the other day, and it almost as long as the normal book list. You know? Just for the
Yes.
stationery alone, you know.
Yes.
I say, my God, what is going on?
I don't know. That's ridiculous. Anyway, in a digital era, we'll be the last country to go digital in terms of the school curriculum, in terms of people just walking to school with tablets. That's it. That's all you should need. A tablet or a laptop, and that's it. You shouldn't need anything else. Electricity. Okay. All right. I'm done with my little rant. Sorry about that, Peter. Have a fantastic day, people. And we'll speak to you bright and early tomorrow morning, which will be Wednesday and midweek already, believe it or not. Have a fantastic day. You've been listening and watching
The Breakfast Show.
That's it, Mendel.
Get up. It's the time to start the day. The Breakfast Show is here. We bring in the soca way. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Wake up, it's a brand new dawn. The Breakfast Show got the vibes